Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace be upon you all and salam Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya. Warm greetings and welcome to everyone here today. Before we begin, allow me to respectfully acknowledge and extend our warmest welcome to the Honorable Director of the Graduate School of Universitas Negeri Semarang, Profesor Dr. Fatur Rahman M.Hum, the respectable speakers, Dr. Raqib Chowdurry from Monash University, good morning, and Professor Dr. Suwito Eko Pramono MPD from Graduate School Universitas Negeri Semarang, good morning, and the respectable Vice Director for Academic, Student and Cooperation Affairs, Professor Dr. Wasino M.Hum, good morning. And our respectable moderators for today's international seminar and the distinguished graduate school students, both masters and doctoral, and the respectable of the coordinator masters and doctoral program from graduate school, Universitas Negeri Semarang, and of course, all invited guests and participants, thank you for being with us here today. And your presence truly honors in this event, and we hope this seminar will offer meaningful insight for you all. It is great as an honor to privilege for me to serve as a master ceremony at this international seminar entitled Global Perspective on Educational Governance and Public Administration, Enhancing International Collaboration in Doctoral Education Management, hosted by Graduate School of Universitas Negeri Semarang. And we are truly delighted to have you all in here, scholars, educators, students, and professionals, joining this important forum of knowledge sharing and global academic collaboration. Well, ladies and gentlemen, to begin our seminar today, we will now sing the national anthem of Indonesia, Indonesia Raya, and we kindly invited everyone to stand up. Universitas Negeri Semarang Anthem.
Universitas Negeri Semarang menjulang setinggi angkasa, mencetak tenaga terdidik yang berbakat dan berdaya guna.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, before we continue with the main agenda, let us begin with a prayer to express our gratitude and hope for a successful event. We kindly invite everyone to remain seated and bow your heads in prayer. Prayer begins. Okay, thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, to begin our seminar today, I would like to invite our director, Professor Dr. Fatur Rahman M.Hum, as the deliver an opening and welcoming remarks. Please welcome the Honorable Professor Dr. Fatur Rahman M.Hum.
Ya. Baik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah wa syukurillah la haula wala quwata illa billah. Allahumma shalli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad. The Honorable Vice Director of the Graduate School of Universitas Semarang, Profesor Dr. Wasino M. Hum, the distinguished visiting professor speakers, Dr. Raqib Chowdurry from Monash University, Professor Suwito Eko Pramono from UNES, coordinators of doctoral study program, the respected head of administrative unit within the graduate school, the lecturer, and all participants, the student in Sekolah Pasar Sarjana UNES. Ya. Hadir juga Pak Gunawan Cokro ya, terima kasih. First of all, let us say Alhamdulillah to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala for His blessing and mercy, so that we can attend in this seminar. This program is held under the theme Global Perspective on Educational Governance and Public Administration, Enhancing International Collaboration in Doctoral Educational Management. The theme reflects the strong commitment of the Graduate School of Universitas Semarang to strengthen doctoral educational governance through global perspective and sustainable international collaboration. This visiting professor program is supported and funded by the Equity Program of Universitas Negeri Semarang as part of the University Strategies Initiative to advance internalization and enhance the quality of postgraduate education. Within this thematic framework, international scholar publications are positioned as a strategic instrument of doctoral educational management as well as a core graduation recruitment. I am at enhancing academic quality, accelerating the timely completion of doctoral studies, and strengthening institutional reputation. The objective of this program is to enhance the research management, academic writing, and international publication skill of faculty members and doctoral students. The target outcomes include strengthens international collaboration, improve publication quality, and stronger support for timely doctoral competition. The visiting professor program is designed through a series of academic activities, including workshop, leader talks on designing international academic reputation, focus group discussion on strengthening study program capacity in support of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, as well as manuscript clinic to provide direct support for international publication. Through this program, the Graduate School of Universitas Negeri Semarang remains its commitment to strengthening the capacity of excellent study program, enhancing impactful academic quality standards, accelerating timely study competition, enhancing international scholarly publication, and strengthening international cooperation and institutional reputation. In closing, I wish you all a productive and enriching experience throughout the workshop and program activities. May these invites bring meaningful benefit to academic and institutional development. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Prof. Fatur, for your kind and inspiring remarks. And before we continue the agenda, let us take a photo session first with all the head of board of graduate school. Please, Prof. Fatur, Pak Raqib, we have a take photo first. Okay. And for ladies and gentlemen, please stand up. We take a photo session. Okay. As a tradition, Pak Raqib. Okay. 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 For the first pose with empul rancang pose. Okay. Yeah, this is the formal pose. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 3, 1, 2. We change the pose with sip. Sinergi, integritas, and professional. As a tagline of graduate school. Okay. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. And for the head of graduate school and speakers. Okay. Okay. For the first section of the seminar, it will be delivered by Dr. Raqib. Yes, and we are honored to have us today to our first speakers, Dr. Raqib Chowdurry from Monash University, with the time AI and academic writing in publishing international journal, with the moderator Profesor Sri Sumartiningsih yang Prof. Titin, good morning. And Dr. Raqib, good morning. In this first section, this is your turn. And after that, we have the question and answer section after you delivered your presentations. And Prof. Titin will be moderator and in this first section. Okay. Prof. Titin, ready? And Dr. Raqib, ready? And the floor is yours.
Oke, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, distinguished guests, and also good morning, distinguished Professor Dr. Raqib Chowdurry. And thank you for all guests in the online, faculty member, researchers, and also students. It is my great honor to welcome you all to this important session for the agenda that is visiting professor from equity program, and the program is designed to strengthen of international academic collaborations, enhance research capacity, and also for excellence in higher education. Today, we are privileged to have with us distinguished scholar whose work with international development, academic leadership, and also global in higher education strategy. Please join me. Welcome Dr. Raqib Chowdurry from Monash University, Australia. Please give applause. Okay, Mas Meldi CV. And Mas Meldi, would you please to share the CV? Yeah, thank you. He's a senior lecturer in the Faculty of Education, Monash University, and also a senior fellow in the Higher Education Academy of UK, and also advisor bilingualism matters in UK. So his experience from 1996 from Bangladesh to Australia, Indonesia, Vietnam, China, Brunei, and Saudi Arabia. And hopefully in this session, he will give us more information on how to enhance our publication in international journal. So welcome, Dr. Raqib Chowdurry. The time is yours.
Present from there while standing, is that okay?
Yes, of course. Okay. So you need mic. That's okay. That's good.
All right, I think so. I have two presentations. Do I do it back to back, or I do the first one, then Q&A, then the second one? Yeah. Q&A. So Q&A will give me a little break, and then the second one. So is it like 45 minutes and then 30 minutes? Q&A is maybe 10 minutes. Okay, that's all right. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning to everyone, and I'm so happy to be here at UNNES. This is my second visit. How many of you were present at my previous visit when I was here in July 2024? How many of you saw me earlier, last time? No one? This is the first time? Or some of you were here? Yes. Of course, Habibi was here, of course. Prof. Fatur was here. And so I'm very happy to see some familiar faces. Dr. Wati was here as well. Prof. Osino was here as well. So I'm very happy to see familiar faces, but I'm happier to see some new faces as well. So I would like to make a few acknowledgements before I get started. First of all, of course, thank you to my moderator, Prof. Titin, for introducing me. my host, Prof. Fatur Rahman, the former rector of UNNES and the current head of the School of Postgraduate Studies, Sekolah Pasca Sarjana. Prof. Fatur, thank you very much for inviting me once again. My fellow speaker for today, Prof. Subito. Where is Prof. Subito? Oh, he has disappeared, but he will be speaking here as well. Prof. Wasino and the volunteers that have made today's program a success so far in organizing it. Thank you very much. So I'll just get started. Can we go to the first slide? I think this is the last slide. Where is the cover slide? Title slide. No, it's not working. It's here. First slide, Habibi. UNNES 1. There are two files, UNNES 1. Yeah. It's the same PowerPoint, just the first slide, that's it. You don't have it? No, the file is okay. I saw the file, it's okay. It's the same one. Oh, not this one, not this one. They didn't copy the right file. They copied the wrong file. No, I didn't. The folder is called UNNES 2026 and the file is UNNES 1 and then UNNES 2. Two presentations, that's it. Yeah, it's okay. So just sorry about that. Habibi got the wrong file. So we are just waiting for the correct file. Then we'll get started, all right? Wait, it's should be... Wait. See? There you go. Okay. 1, 2. Copy both of these. Copy both of these. That's it. Yes. There, that's it. Full screen. And yeah. Yeah, we got it. Yep. Yes, full screen slideshow. It's the remote. Yeah, got it. Yep. Okay. See, yes, it's okay. Yep, good. Thank you, Habibi. All right, so sorry for the technical glitch. We can finally get started. So just to let you know, today I have two presentations, Bapa Ibu. And these two presentations are interconnected. They are related. So please stay here and I hope you'll find them useful. The first presentation is critical. The second presentation is practical. So when we practice something, we need to be critical. And therefore, it would be good if you try to combine your understanding from the two presentations together. So the title of the presentation is AI in Academic Writing. AI, the role of AI in academic writing. Academic writing means, writing your assignment, writing your thesis or scriptsy or dissertation, or writing journal articles, any kind of academic writing, the role of AI, okay? However, this presentation is not about the benefits of AI. Why? Because this is 2026, Bapa Ibu. There have been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of presentations on the benefits of AI. Do we want to hear more about the benefits of AI? No. We already know how it's beneficial. We already know how it's important. In 2025, last year, I went to Hong Kong to present at the Asia TEFL Conference 2025. And the topic of the keynote was the benefits of AI. And the keynote speaker was not only talking about the benefits of AI, he was promoting his own app, AI app. And I thought that was very unethical. And that was not fair because he was using the conference platform attended by thousands of participants for commercial purposes, for promoting his own app. And the rest of the presentation was just about the benefits of AI. Boring topic. We don't need to know about the benefits of AI. We know AI is very helpful. So this presentation is not about that. This presentation is not also about how to improve your academic writing in English. It is not about how AI can help you with your academic writing. You already know that. It is also not about how you should not use AI for your writing, because my presentation is not telling you don't use AI. I'm telling you, yes, use AI, because it is inevitable. And if there is anyone in this room who says, I don't use AI for academic writing, I won't believe you. Because everyone uses AI, it's okay. So what is the actual topic of my presentation? If it is not any of these, it is about the ethical and responsible use of AI. Ethical and responsible use of AI. And in order to do that, we have to be critical. So what does it mean to be critical in the age of AI when it comes to academic writing? That's what the topic is about. So I want you to look at this image here. You can see three different shapes, right? It's actually the same. It's the same thing, but you're seeing it from three different perspectives. Do you understand that? In a three-dimensional space, you see it from different sides, but it's the same thing. So what does that mean? This is a metaphor. It's a visual metaphor. It means that there might be one truth, one reality, but depending on your critical lens, you can write about it differently. You can talk about it differently. You can research it differently. And I'll show you some examples about how we can do that. Now, according to research from the last 15 years, academic writers who have English as a foreign language background, EFL, they have certain disadvantages when it comes to writing a thesis or writing for journals. For example, language proficiency is a barrier because English is not your first language, right? We also have problems like anxiety. We don't feel confident. We feel nervous. Limited English exposure because you can't speak English outside. There is, it's all Indonesian or Javanese. Poor drafting, revision habits, text structure, etc. So these are some of the common problems that we have. However, there are also problems to do with critical thinking, not about English. It's about critical thinking. There are problems with integrity and honesty. For example, the misuse of AI leading to plagiarism. And probably the most important thing that I want to tell you today when it comes to using AI is cultural dissonance. What is cultural dissonance? It's the struggle where you have to adapt to the rules set by Western traditions. So for example, when you send a manuscript of a research article to an international journal, you have to follow their rules. You have to write like them. If you write in Indonesian style, it will not be accepted. My presentation has a critical and decolonial perspective. I've been talking to Prof. Wasino since yesterday. Prof. Wasino works in the decolonial space. What is decolonial space? It is a rejection of Western values. It is a stance against what the English-speaking countries and journals from English-speaking countries tells us. You have to do this. You can't write in Indonesian way. You have to avoid using your language. You have to avoid citations from Indonesia. I am saying we shouldn't do that, because the problem with AI is that AI, the language used by AI, is based on LLM. You know LLM, right? Large language models. The large language models are mostly text written by people from English-speaking countries. So if you are using AI for writing your thesis or scriptsy or dissertation or journal article, then you're losing your voice, your Indonesian voice. You're writing like the Western person. You're writing following the Western style. So we have to resist the cultural dissonance that is being imposed upon us by using AI, because AI is making our lives easier. It is making us do things very faster. We don't have to worry about grammar. We don't have to worry about structure. We don't have to worry about citation, etc. But we are sacrificing who we are, our voice. We are sounding like someone from an English-speaking country. We are not sounding like someone from Indonesia. So we have to be critical, and we have to take a decolonial approach to understanding that. In the 90s, when most of you were not even born, I was doing my undergraduate studies. Something happened in the 90s in ELT, English Language Teaching. It's called the critical turn. The critical turn means for the first time people realized that native speakerism isn't a good thing. What is native speakerism? Native speakerism is the belief that if someone's first language is English, if someone is a native speaker of English, they are a good teacher of English. They are better than us. Native speakerism also means if you learn English, you should sound like a native speaker, not Indonesian. It means it is shameful to have Indonesian accent. People for the first time in the 90s realized that is not true. It is not required for you to have a British or American accent in order to be considered as a good speaker of English. And also about linguistic imperialism. The colonizers left, the Dutch people, they left Indonesia. The British people left India, but they still continue to colonize us through language. So the critical turn that happened in the 1990s told us for the first time that your own voice matters, that you should be proud of who you are, and you don't need to have proficiency at the level of a native speaker to be recognized as someone who is good in speaking a foreign language. So that is linguistic imperialism, the term that was coined by Robert Philipson and a whole lot of other writers. So what are the symptoms? What are the symptoms of a colonized mindset? Colonized mindset. Because some of us, we still have that kind of mindset even in 2026, even with AI. In fact, AI is making our colonized mindset even worse. How is that? If you're a teacher of English, do you insist your students to have an American accent or British accent? Do you shame them because they have Indonesian accent? That's a colonial mindset. We have to be critical about it. Native-like fluency. Do you ask your students to speak like a native speaker? English-only policy. Do you let your students use Indonesian or Javanese in the classroom? We call it translanguaging when they speak in English. Or do you say, no, if you want to learn English, you must only use English, English-only policy. These are symptoms of a colonized mindset. And we have to be critical against it because AI is making us more and more and more of having a colonial mindset. We have to resist that. So what we need to do is we have to realize that the discourses that are being promoted by technology such as AI are deficit. Deficit means they are lacking. Deficit means they are negative. We have to be critical about it. We have to be proud of our accent as Indonesians or as Javanese. If you speak in English and if your accent says that you are Indonesian, you should be proud of it, not ashamed of it. If, on the other hand, your English accent is British or American because you have worked very hard to have an American or British accent, that is actually shameful because your accent is your identity. As long as you're intelligible, as long as people can understand you when you speak in English, that is all you need. You don't need to sound like British or American. So we have to move from deficit discourses and what Suresh Kanagaraja calls the geopolitics of academic writing. The geopolitics of academic writing means the way academic writing is defined and standardized through the curriculum, through the pedagogy, through our teaching practices, all of this is determined by the West, not by us. It is the English-speaking nations who decide what should be taught in Indonesia, in Malaysia, in Bangladesh, in India, in EFL countries. We have lost our voice to decide what we need to learn, how we should speak, how we should use our first language, our mother tongue. So that is called the geopolitics of academic writing. Now, my second presentation today, is about academic writing, publishing in international journals, right? Even in international journals, the geopolitics exists. So, for example, the publication conventions established by CENTA scholarship, CENTA means, the powerful countries, developed countries, and Western standards of excellence. We have to follow the rules set by the developed countries, the Anglosphere, or the English-speaking countries, and we have to adapt to them. And when you use AI, when you use ChatGPT to help you write your journal article, you further lose your Indonesian voice. You sound more and more like an American writer, and you think that it has done a good job because you don't have to worry about ideas or citation or grammar or structure or syntax, vocabulary, etc. But what about your Indonesian spirit? What about your values as an Indonesian? You're sacrificing it just to save time because you have free access to ChatGPT. That is a real shame. So I'm not saying we shouldn't use ChatGPT. I'm not saying AI is bad. I'm saying when we use AI, we have to be critical. We have to be conscious. We cannot sacrifice our identity as Indonesians, as Asians, as Javanese, as Sundanese, or different ethnic groups from Indonesia, different parts of Indonesia. So let me give you a real example of the cultural styles, different styles of writing when we write something academic. So take a look at these two paragraphs written by someone for a journal or an assignment in English. What do you think of this writing? It's good writing. The grammar is fine. The vocabulary is fine. The punctuation is fine. The meaning is clear. And it is probably written by someone from Indonesia because there is a citation to Ki Hajar Dewantara. Beautiful writing, nothing wrong with it. Message is clear, right? Everything is fine. Okay, here is a second example, guys. Second example. So my question is, which one do you think is better quality? Which one is better? The one on the left or the one on the right? Which one sounds better? I think most of you think the one on the left, Prof. Titin? Yeah. The one on the left sounds better, right? Because you're having that colonial mindset. because the academic writing conventions, the articles that you have been reading from international journals, they have made you think and believe and internalize that this is better. Why is it better? Because it is more precise, because it has citations with dates and names. It's not just Divantara said this and that. Because it is more compact, because it uses certain vocabulary. And we think this is not good enough because it's Divantara. There is no date. That's a shame if you think like that. Ki Hajar Divantara is the founding father of education in Indonesia. Why is he less important than Dornier, Ushioda? Why? Why? We also think this is not good enough because you're saying, in my experience, because the Western conventions have taught us you shouldn't talk about your experience. You should be objective, not subjective. Why? You also think this is not good enough because it finishes with therefore, deductive writing. The Western writing conventions tell us deductive is not good, inductive is good. Always start with a topic sentence. Don't finish with therefore. Okay? So this is actually an example of the colonial mindset where you're sacrificing your own identity as an Indonesian and you're subscribing to the pressures of academic writing traditions imposed upon you by people from outside Indonesia, from English-speaking countries. However, there is nothing wrong with this. It's beautiful writing. The meaning is clear. And it is saying the same thing. So we need to be very careful. If you use AI, you are more likely to write like this. We should not sacrifice our identity as Indonesians. We must fight on. That is the decolonial spirit. Prof. Wasino, right? This is what we do. Decolonial critics. We are decolonial critics. We have to be careful about that. Now, Mohanty, an Indian post-colonial theorist, calls this ethnocentric universality, which means the West and the English-speaking countries, they impose upon you, Indonesians, their rules, and as if it is universal, as if it is true for everyone. That is called ethnocentric universality. They tell you you should write like us. Okay? So what is ethnocentrism? What is ethnocentrism? Ethnocentrism. Things that are centered around ethnicity. Okay? Now, ethnocentrism is actually a very natural human temperament. It's a very natural human character. Everyone in this room has a little bit of ethnocentrism in them. It's not necessarily bad, but when it comes to academic writing, ethnocentrism can be very bad. So ethnocentrism would be, for example, an Indonesian, just a funny example, an Indonesian might think, oh, the Chinese eat rice with 2 sticks, chopsticks. That's funny, that's ridiculous. Why don't you just use your hands? On the other hand, the Chinese would think, oh, the Indonesians use their hands to eat rice. Why don't they use chopsticks? That is ethnocentrism. It means you are judging the practices and the values and the thinking of other cultures in terms of your own culture because you think your culture is normal and everything else is a deviation. It's different. So Mohanty talks about ethnocentric universality, which is promoted not just by journals but by AI. AI is making you normalize non-Indonesian writing styles and values as if it is universal. You have to do it. And because we rely so much on AI, we don't care because it is saving us time. If we want to write a journal article, it will take us 2, 3, 4 weeks. If we want to write an abstract, it will take us 1 day, 2 days. If I use AI, ChatGPT, it will take 10 seconds. After you write the prompt, right? So for the sake of saving time, we are sacrificing our soul. We have to be very careful about that, Bapak Ibu, right? So that is ethnocentrism. slow. So what should we do? I think that's my next slide. So what can we do, right? Okay. It's very slow. Can you go back and no, it's jump. Okay. Is it okay? Yeah. Okay, so what can we do about it, right? What's the solution? So I think the signal is slow. Oh, yeah, lagging. I think I have 15 minutes. Yeah, okay, I'll finish. Maybe unplug and plug again, or okay. Yeah, just another technical glitch. We'll be back soon. Previous slide. Yes. Previous. Yes, okay. Yeah, now we can share. Share, okay. Think we're back. It's not. Take this out and put this back again. This one. No, just this one. This one. Okay. The connection issue. But this one is connected through the cable, not internet. It's offline. It's the Zoom should be affected, not the presentation. Presentation should be fine because it's just, it's LAN.
Cek satu. Ini bukan slide-nya. Filenya mana filenya? Ini benar. Enggak, filenya kasih kan aku. Oke. Oh, ini udah. Sudah. Ya. Where's the
Is between this and the display, not internet. This is LAN connected.
Oke, sudah. Oke.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Okay, so we are back. We are back online. Sorry for the technical glitch. I have about 12-13 minutes. Your attention, please. So I'll try to finish it, and then we'll have Q&A, and then we can move to the second topic. So what can we do? We've talked about colonial mindset. We've talked about neo-colonialism. We've talked about native speakerism. We've talked about ethnocentrism. So what should we do about it? We have to move from deficit to dialogue. And that dialogue means we have to negotiate our values when we write academically, especially using AI. Okay? So usually in school, we are taught how to remember, understand, apply, and analyze. But we are not taught how to evaluate and create. So those of you who are familiar with Bloom's taxonomy, do you know Bloom's taxonomy? Okay. So these 6 verbs correspond to Bloom's taxonomy from lower order thinking skills, lots, to higher order thinking skills, HOTS, H-O-T-S, right? Okay. In order to be critical, when you write academically, especially using AI, you have to move from LOTS to HOTS. If you want ChatGPT to do this for you, then you're sacrificing your identity. You're not being original. So you have to be careful. So we have to move from egocentric thinking to critical thinking, higher order thinking skills, okay? And we have to remember that reading, when you read an article, it's not just retrieving information. It is the construction of knowledge. If you use AI, then AI is doing the reading for you. You are not thinking. There is no critical thinking. There is no even thinking. How can you write a literature review without reading articles? Bapak Ibu, you need at least, how many articles do you need to write a literature review? Maybe 20, 25, 30, maybe, right? Okay. Now, there is no shortcut to reading. How many hours does it take, or how long does it take to read and annotate, like highlight and summarize and take the main points from one article, which is usually 5,000 or 6,000 words? How long does it take? Maybe 2, 3, 4 hours, right? So if you want to use 10 articles, then it is 4 hours times 10 articles, 40 hours. There is no shortcut. I did my PhD a long time ago. Prof. Fatur, Prof. Osino, they are very, very senior academics. But it takes us a lot of time to read articles. If you use ChatGPT to do the literature review for you and you haven't read any article, you can't be critical at all, Bapak Ibu. You can't be, there is no shortcut. Reading is reading. It's not just retrieving information. It's creation of knowledge. In the same way, writing is not just conveying information. It's about construction of knowledge. So if you use AI to give you a shortcut, then you're sacrificing your critical ability. So we have to move away from descriptive writing and focus on critical writing, okay? Which is higher order thinking skills, okay? And we have to do it in a balanced way. What is the balance here? On one hand, we will use AI, we will use ChatGPT because it is inevitable technology. Inevitable technology, it is part of our lives. Can I ask you not to use your mobile phone? No, it is impractical. Even if spending too much time on social media is not a good thing, I can't tell you not to have a mobile phone. You're all adults here. Your parents can't tell you you can't have a mobile phone. It is an inevitable reality. We have to accept it. So on one hand, we have that. On the other hand, we have to be critical. So a balance between that. So what we have here in 2025 and 2026 is new technology that was not available in the 80s when I was in high school. Before you were born, in the 80s, I was in high school. Do you want to see what technology we had when I was in high school in the 80s? I'll show you the latest technology at that time. Yes, calculator. And at that time, our teachers banned calculator. And anyone who had a calculator was seen as a cheating student, dishonest student, lazy student, right? But 2026, it's okay. Students don't memorize the times table, 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3, 12 times 12. You don't have to do that because we have accepted it. We also have to accept AI. Because otherwise, people will laugh at us 5 years from now and say that, AI was banned at some universities. So in 2023, AI came into our lives, here to stay, okay? And there have been a lot of jokes about ChatGPT. For example, memes on social media, right? About ChatGPT. And this. The deadline is approaching. ChatGPT will do your response in 5 minutes. What about this? ChatGPT will finish the construction Okay, but it gets serious, you know. This is an assignment in a high school, 12th Night, which is, you know, a tragedy by William Shakespeare. You can't read the top, but on top it says, I'm sorry, but as an AI language model, I am not able to complete this assignment. So the student forgot to remove the prompt, right? But it gets even more serious. This is a school assignment, but this one is a journal article. Fake references. And the person whose name is attributed to these references, he tweeted, he said, yeah, I didn't do it. And this is from a Q1 journal. And, you know, even more seriously, in 2024, this article was published in a Q1 journal, Scopus Index Q1 journal. Do you know what the first sentence reads? Certainly, here is a possible introduction for your topic. This is what ChatGPT does, right? So how was this published in a Scopus Q1 ranked journal? After editorial review, 2 rounds of double-blinded peer review, copy editing, typesetting. No one saw this. Come on. It was already published. I think the editors also use ChatGPT, and the peer reviewers also use ChatGPT. Maybe that's why. They forgot to remove this, right? Okay. All right. So what about Monash University, which is one of the highest ranked universities in the world? I think right now we are number 36 or 35, something like that. My faculty, education faculty, is number 14 or 15 in the whole world. So we are one of the leading universities in the world. So what about AI at Monash? What is our policy? Our policy is, yes, you can use AI. We've got guidelines for students. In fact, not just for generally for our educational programs, we even have AI guidelines for individual assignments. So we are not telling students not to use AI. However, we are telling students to use AI ethically and responsibly. That's the main thing. We are not saying don't use AI. Because if in 2026 Monash University says AI is banned, then in 2030 people will laugh at us. Just like we laugh at my teachers in the 80s who didn't allow us to use the calculator. We must accept it, but we have to be critical about it. Okay? So what we need to be aware of is how using AI can suppress our traditions. The distinctive, unique, idiosyncratic Indonesian beautiful style of writing. You know, using proverbs, indirectiveness, deductive style, literary style, metaphors, etc. So there is nothing wrong if you quote from Ki Hajar Diwantara if it doesn't follow APA style. Ing arso song tulodo, ing madya mangun karso, tutwuri handayane. It's beautiful. We should be proud of that. If you use AI for your academic writing, you will not have that quintessential Indonesian spirit in your writing. And that is our decolonial fight against international journals that are telling us to follow their conventions and write like them. Because if we do that, we are subscribing to the colonial mindset, which was supposed to have ended in the 80s, the critical turn, but it's still happening now. And AI is making it worse. And we are accepting it simply because AI is saving us time. And because it is saving us time, we don't care about criticality anymore. We don't care about our Indonesian voice anymore. We have to avoid that, Bapak Ibu. Okay? So we have to perform legitimacy in order to get accepted in international journals. We have to fight against that. Because if you don't do that, you are going to lose your own voice. Now here is another example of Indonesian writing and Western style writing. I'll just skip this because I don't have enough time. So again, what should we do about it? This is Walter Miniolo. from Argentina. He is one of the most well-known decolonial critics currently living. He's still alive, Walter Mignolo. He calls this movement the epistemic disobedience, which means we have to disobey the values imposed upon us by the West at the epistemological level. What is epistemology? Philosophy. It's much bigger than one single theory, one single practice. It's something bigger. Okay, so Javanese philosophy, Majapahit philosophy, Sriwijaya philosophy, okay, Sundanese philosophy, Minangkabau philosophy. These are epistemologies. So Walter Mignolo is telling us to take a stand against Western epistemology by being disobedient to them, to uphold the Indonesian tradition and epistemology even when you're publishing internationally, okay? So I will finish my presentation with some questions, and you will find the answers through my second presentation as well as your own critical thinking. How can Indonesian educators and students harness AI, use ChatGPT in academic writing without sacrificing their cultural identity or the loss of unique academic tone, which is yours, which is not ChatGPT's, which is not based on a Western large language model? You should sound like yourself, not like someone else. And 3 more questions here. Whose voice matters? Your voice matters. In the age of AI-assisted writing, will we enforce one correct voice or validate many voices? Many voices, right? Diversity. In 5 years, will international research papers all sound the same? Because everyone's using AI. That's very, very sad because you are losing your diversity. Or can we harness AI in a way that a paper by an Indonesian scholar retains a distinctive voice and perspective even when you're writing in a foreign language like English? And the answer depends on us. So we have to decolonize our mind and be critical not only when we are reading articles, but when we are also writing our thesis or scriptsy or dissertation or a journal article. You have to be unique and retain your voice, okay? So what we need is digital literacy. It is different from digital skills. Everyone has digital skills. Everyone can use apps on their phone and go to this app and go to that app, make a TikTok video, make a meme. That's not digital literacy. That's just a digital skill. Is that you? Did you just say stop? Okay, yeah, it's someone in the audience. I'll finish in 2 minutes. Ibu, is that okay? 2 minutes? Okay. Yeah, okay. So digital literacy is not the same as digital skill. Digital skill is how to make a TikTok video, how to make a meme, etc., right? How to add music, that is digital skill. Digital literacy is to be critical about the use of digital tools and how it empowers you, how it disempowers you, and how it positions you, and how people consume your content. Okay, that is digital literacy. So we need digital literacy, we need critical digital literacy, and we need ethical digital literacy. More important than, remember what my first slide was? It was a disclaimer. I said my presentation is not about the benefits of AI, right, Papa Ibu? Yeah. Everyone knows the benefits of AI. Why should I have a presentation on the benefits of AI? It should actually be about ethical and critical digital literacy, not about how can I use AI to improve my pedagogical practices. That's already a boring topic. It's an old topic. We have to be critical. That's more important. Okay, so there is a checklist. I will make this slide available to you. You can print out this checklist, and when you are reading and writing, you can tick the boxes tick the boxes one by one to make sure that you are being critical and you have that digital literacy. So this is a checklist that I created, not only for students, but for supervisors and lecturers and everyone else. Okay, so these are my words of advice. Basically, to summarize, just be more conscious, be proud to be an Indonesian, be proud to be Javanese. Don't sacrifice your critical integrity by using AI just to save time, because that is the neo-colonial mindset and it is shameful for us. Okay, so thank you very much. That's the end of my first presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Raqib Chowdurry. So, any question? So maybe you can have a rest. Yeah. So, any question? Please raise your hand. Professor, you wanna asking something? Yes, please. Mr. Habibi. Or any comments, please welcome. So this one.
I can just use this, so I don't need the mic.
Yeah. So I just remember when I was studying in Taiwan. So when I'm writing the article and then I have a proofreading from UK and then I'm going back to my supervisor and they say, Titin, this is Indonesian.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm from Indonesia.
Yeah, of course it should be
Yeah, I'm Indonesian.
That's who I am.
Stupid, they say,
Yeah.
okay. And finally, I'm finished. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
welcome, Professor Walsino.
I think it's interesting this lecture in this morning, but I want to ask you about the process of using AI. From your speaker, that AI from deductive process.
Yes.
And what about we are using AI from the inductive process? We get result, and maybe we have 10 pages, and I use AI for reading my articles. Thank you.
Yeah. Prof. Orsino, I think it's a very important question for us to consider when we are writing journal articles. So what I meant was the traditional Western writing style prefers to be inductive. So you don't draw conclusions where you just say something and then say, therefore we can say that. It tends to prefer, usually, not always, it tends to prefer us to be more straightforward, and that's why there is an insistence on writing topic sentences at the beginning and then writing the rest inductively. So that is the traditional Western style of writing. The non-Western style of writing, and some people refer to it as Confucian heritage cultures, CHC, including Asian cultures, is the opposite. It's usually deductive. So we give a long story and then at the end we say, therefore we can say that. Usually that's the difference, right? So my point was, when we use AI, because the large language model of AI such as ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Copilot, Grok, these, the way the generative AI works is that it is based on millions of samples of written text, but most of these are written by native speakers of English from developing countries in servers somewhere in Silicon Valley. They do not include a corpus of writing from Indonesian authors who have their own distinctive style of writing using metaphors and literary language and proverbs, okay, which is indigenous to Javanese culture or Indonesian culture generally, or Nusantara, Southeast Asian countries. That is not yet the part of the large language models. Therefore, if we rely too much on AI, although instinctively we want to be deductive, the AI will make us inductive because that is what the AI model has been trained on. So what happens is when we use ChatGPT for our writing, because it saves us time, we usually don't care about our loss of voice. We think, oh, it has saved me time. It doesn't sound like me. This is not my style, but so what? I don't care. It's okay. Because it sounds good. And I think I will be accepted by a journal because, you know, it's better than my own writing style.
Yeah.
But the problem is, if you do that, you're sacrificing yourself, your own style, your epistemology, your deductive style. So we have to be conscious and critical about that. Professor Sino, thank you.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Prof. Dia.
Welcome, Professor Dia.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Dr. Raqib. I am one of the journal manager in UNES. Every time I receive manuscript from the writer, there are many content of AI. So the question is, how many percent the manuscript allow content AI? How many percent? Because we never found 0% of AI. And then if there is content AI, what is our suggestion to the writer? Of course, if the manuscript hide content of AI, we also reject.
Yes.
But when I see the contents, actually this is a good information. So this is what I mean. What is our suggestion? For
Acceptable.
this? Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Dia. This is a very practical question, especially for those who work as editors like Prof. Dia, who's the editor of a journal. It's a very, very big problem. Unfortunately, right now in January 2026, until now, there is no reliable AI detection technology. They are not reliable.
Yeah.
So there are some tools available on the internet, and some of them are subscription, which means you have to pay for it. We think if you pay for something, it's better than free, right? It's not, you know, like even Turnitin, Grammarly, even before AI, there is a free version, there is a paid version. If you go for the paid version, Grammarly, it's better, we think. But for AI detection, until now, there is no reliable technology. So Prof. Dia's question was, what is the acceptable rate of AI detection for a submitted manuscript that shows a certain percentage of text which is likely to have been produced by AI? I don't have an answer to that, not because it is not possible to have a number, but because the technology is not reliable. So the same manuscript that has been submitted to your journal, Prof. Dia, if you use one particular tool, it might say 60% AI similarity, but another tool will say 20%, and another AI detection tool will say 80%.
Yeah.
It's because it's not reliable. So I think we have to wait for at least 12 to 24 months, until next year maybe, to have a reliable tool that can detect AI in a more reliable way. Right now we don't have any reliable technology. Therefore, it is not safe to put a percentage like 20% or 30%, 40%. It's not possible now. It is premature. We have to wait until next year. But Bapak Ibu, that doesn't mean you can use AI without, just because there is no detection tool, because once your journal article is published, it will be there forever. And even maybe 2 or 3 years later, someone will find out and say, oh, this was written by AI 90%. So it will be very shameful. So please be careful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, Mr. Raqib, we use authenticate tool
Oh, yes,
to
I-
check
Trinity.
AI.
Yeah.
But some of a writer is very clear. They use paraphrase
Yes,
with this
yes.
AI. So I don't know.
It's a tricky question because you can use ChatGPT or AI to do the primary draft and then you can paraphrase it, right?
Yes.
To hide the evidence of AI use. This is not entirely unethical because even when we use citations, we still do the same, we paraphrase. But what we do when we paraphrase citations is we acknowledge, right? But if it is ChatGPT, then you are not acknowledging it. There's a difference. So we have to be very careful about that. But still now, it is not possible for technology to detect AI similarity. It is still not possible. Maybe it will take 1 or 2 more years.
Okay. Wow, great. So in here also we still have a distinguished professor, Dr. Chokro Gunawan. You're still here, right? So, yeah, please, if any question, welcome.
Okay. Thank you. First of all, I would like to say thank you to Dr. Raqib. This is indeed a very nice lecture this morning. I'm happy to be here, especially when you. This is the first time in my life that someone said, when you speak English, don't try to use or you should not use British or
Yeah.
American accent. Yeah. Until today, I'm still speaking and singing with my Japanese accent. Proper.
Yes.
Well, actually, I have a 2 practical question. First, you mentioned in your presentation that AI is an inevitable, yeah, for both student and teachers, yeah, because this is in our daily life. Anyway, we have to use them. But again, there are so many apps, AI apps available in the market. Yeah, some are free, but some are with certain fee.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you to pinpoint a certain app, but do you have like a guidance or criteria with criteria that we should apply before we use one application,
yes,
AI
yes,
application? That's number one, yeah.
Yeah.
And my second question, my second practical question is you mentioned that AI is now dominated with all the developed countries, like mostly in the Europe and America, right?
Yes,
So that's
yes.
why if we use AI, we will lose our identity.
Yes.
My question, technologically, is that possible that one day AI information is confined within one country?
Yes.
So, for example, Indonesian has
Yes.
AI, and all with Indonesian culture, Indonesian
Oh, yes.
wording, everything. So when
Yeah.
we take something from this AI, what we get is Indonesian information.
Oh, yes, yes,
Is
yes.
that possible technologically?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you. That's my question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Gunawan. Both of your questions are very good questions and very practical questions. So the first question was about how to choose a reliable AI app because there are so many, right? It's very difficult to give one answer, but at Monash University, officially we support and provide subscription services to our students and lecturers with ChatGPT from OpenAI and Copilot from Microsoft. These two are the preferred generative AI apps as far as Monash University is concerned, Copilot and ChatGPT. The other option that some of my colleagues use, and it is really good for academic purposes, is called Perplexity.
Yeah, I use that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Perplexity is good for academic purposes. So that's my answer to the first question, Copilot, ChatGPT, Perplexity. The second question is, you are right, Professor Gunawan. This is 2026, January 2026. Until now, all of the AI that we use except, what's the name of the one from China?
Quen.
No, there's another one.
Quen.
DeepSeek, yeah.
DeepSeek.
Yeah, DeepSeek. So all of the major generative AI tools except DeepSeek and maybe 2 or 3 others, the language that it generates is based on Eurocentric or American large language models, but within the next 24 months or 36 months, we will also have locally based LLM chat GPTs, and it is almost inevitable that in the near future we will also have Indonesian linguistic corpus based LLM and generative AI based on that would protect our voice as Indonesian authors. It is still not available, but it will be available, Prof. Gunawan. That is my hope. Thank you.
Is that anything coming from India? Because I know India is very good in this kind of things.
I think so, because India is not just ahead with technology and IT, but India also uses English for official purposes extensively. So I think India is the most likely hub of a non-native English corpus-based generative AI tool. It's possible for India, Singapore, maybe South Korea, but from South Korea it will probably not be English-based, but India is the most likely location, Prof. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Jokro Gunawan.
Thank you.
So, any else question? Or enough?
Yep.
Yeah, enough. So, take a rest for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then please prepare for the next slide. Yeah. Okay, so the second discussion is about publishing in international journal and how the strategy, right?
Yes.
So, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Can I go there, Prof. Titin?
Please.
Yes, thank you.
So, welcome back, Dr. Raqib Chowdurry. The time is yours.
All right, so welcome back, Bapak Ibu. So this is my second and last presentation for now. And the topic is publishing in international journals, a strategic approach. Now, Prof. Fatur, who is the head of Sekolah Pasca Sarjana, and we've been in collaboration for almost 2 years. And some of you know that Prof. Fatur also visited Monash University in Melbourne, Australia in 2024. That was the first time I met Prof. Fatur. And then 2 months later, I came to UNES on the kind invitation of Prof. Fatur. That was our second meeting. And now this is our third meeting, Bapa. But however, during these 2 years of time, we have always talked about quality assurance, ranking, and international research dissemination through quality publications in international journals, so that UNES as a university, which is one of the best universities in Indonesia already, reaches the global reputation and ranking, so that UNES is recognized by institutes and universities outside Indonesia. And Prof. Fatur has his highest priority on publishing in international journals, because that is very, very important in terms of adding value to the ranking of any university in the world. Okay? Now, to contextualize this topic, before I start, try to keep in mind what I said in my first presentation. We have to be critical. We cannot sacrifice our identity. Indonesian style English is important. we shouldn't subscribe to the norms imposed to us by international journals. We have to practice epistemic disobedience. Remember all of these things? Okay. But we also have to be balanced. If you insist too much on your Indonesian style, and if that style is not compatible with the journal's requirements, then we risk rejection. So the question is, should I be my own self and write in my own Indonesian style and risk rejection, or should I completely let go of my own style and write in a way that would make the editors and the reviewers happy? What should I do? Because if I'm too Indonesian, they might not accept. But if I'm, too Western, if I write like someone else, then it's a shame on me, because I am being very colonially subjugated. I'm just giving up my own identity. And AI is actually making it easier for me to sacrifice my identity. So we have to balance. So in the context of my first presentation, my second presentation would not only be about publishing in international journals, but strategic approach. That's the main thing. How we can balance, okay? So we'll do that. And I'll give you some real examples, Bapak Ibu. And this is an interactive session. So I will show you some real examples from my experience as a peer reviewer and editor. When I ask you the questions, I would like you to give me quick answers, all right? I want this to be interactive, because if it's not interactive, then you probably won't get much out of it. Okay, so here is a recent article published about 2 years ago by 2 Indonesian authors, and the topic of the article exactly is the topic of my presentation. Getting published in international journals, perception of Indonesian scholars in linguistics and language education on the issues they face. So in other words, what are the obstacles? What are the reasons why Indonesian authors' articles are rejected in international journals? Okay, so they identified a lot of reasons. Not just them, but also Supriyadi, Indrayadi, Arsyad, a lot of studies. But mainly, 3 main issues. Unequal access to English medium genre, socialization, center-periphery publishing norms. I already explained that in the morning. The West tells us how to write, right? Center, periphery. Center is Europe, America. Indonesia, periphery. There's a imbalance. Constrained research infrastructure, including investment from the government. But rather than individual shortcomings, which means Indonesian researchers are really, really high quality. Really high quality. So the reasons they are rejected is not because of their capacity or their competence. It's actually some other structural issues that are sometimes beyond the control of individuals. So my message in this second presentation is, international publishing is demanding or competitive or difficult, but it is learnable. You can learn how to do it. It is possible to learn how to enhance your chances of acceptance. It is navigable. Navigable means it's like a GPS. You can navigate. There are a lot of obstacles, but you will find the right way. And the most important part is the third one. It is negotiable. That's the most important thing. Negotiable means if the peer reviewer asks you to do something, change something, you don't always necessarily have to do it. Because if you always say yes to every peer reviewer, when your article is rejected, or when the peer reviewer is asking for revisions, if you always follow it, then you will be in trouble. You know why? Not only because you're sacrificing your voice, but different reviewers will give you different opinions. So if you have 2 rounds of reviews and 2 reviewers, so you have 4 peer reviews, 4 people are saying 4 different things. And if you always want to make everyone happy, what happens? Can you always make everyone happy all the time?
No.
I think there is a meme that says, The only person who can make everyone happy is the person who sells ice cream. The ice cream seller, no one else. If you are a teacher, if you are a reviewer, if you are a thesis writer, if you are an academic, you can't make everyone happy. So it is negotiable. It is negotiable. So I'm going to show you examples of two things. One is some very common reasons why peer reviews make our lives difficult, and I will show you how to write a good abstract. I think these two are very important in order to enhance the possibility of your journal being accepted in an international journal, your article being accepted. Scholars from Indonesia, so that's all of you here, scholars from Indonesia bring epistemic resources. That's what I'm saying, epistemic resources, philosophical resources, okay? That are urgently needed by Europe, by America. They need it. You don't have to be defensive. It's very important. What matters is learning how to enter the conversation without erasing yourself. Again, voice empowerment. That's what I was talking about in my first presentation. Without sacrificing your identity as Indonesian. Indonesian research as theoretically and empirically valuable, not only local. It is important for the world, not just for Indonesia. So we have to change our mindset. We are writing for an international audience if we want to publish in an international journal. So we have to think beyond Indonesia. Publishing is a learned practice. It can be learned. It can be learned. Not an innate talent. So don't think that, oh, I'm not good enough in publishing. I write well, but writing journal article isn't my thing. I'm not good. No, it can be learned. You're not born with it. It can be learned. Okay? So this is the normal process of a journal article getting published. I think you already know that. I don't need to tell you. You write an article, you submit it, and then the editor checks it. And then if it's good enough, sent for peer review, otherwise rejected, desk rejection. If it is sent by peer review, it is accepted. If it is not accepted, minor revisions goes back to you, you revise, submit. If it is major revisions, then maybe it will go through a different set of peer reviewers. If it is rejection, it goes back to you, and then you send it back. It's finally accepted after 2 or 3 rounds of peer review, copy editing, typesetting, and then publication. But what happens before that? What happens before you submit? I think you know some of these things. You have to find a journal whose scope aligns with your topic. If you send it to a random journal, the editor, and we've got editors here, Prof. Fatur, Prof. Dia, you are all editors of journals. We become very irritated if someone sends a journal, an article that has nothing to do with the scope of our, the topics. It's like, why did you send it to us? They become very irritated, okay? So the scope has to match, argument has to be clear, methodology, theory, everything has to be clear. You have to follow the journal guidelines. If it says 6,000 words maximum, don't send a manuscript that is 7,000 words and say, oh, sorry, no. It's actually 6,000. Another 1,000 is for references only. No, the guideline says including references. We must follow it. We must respect it. And don't forget to add a cover letter. How do you write a cover letter to a journal editor? Well, ChatGPT can help you, right? Yeah, okay. So you don't need to learn it, okay. Now, here is the interactive part of my presentation. I'll ask you some questions. When you submit an article to a journal, do you think these things matter in terms of acceptance? Your name, your institution, your age, whether you have a PhD or you don't have a PhD, if you're a lecturer, if you're undergraduate, if you're Indonesian, if you're male, if you're female. Do you think these things matter when it comes to acceptance? Do you think that I have a bigger chance of acceptance in a journal article than you because I'm from Monash University, one of the top universities? Do you think I have a better chance? No, not at all. Because peer review process is double-blinded. Double-blinded means the reviewer doesn't know who I am, and I don't know who my reviewer is, double. So they can't judge the quality of my manuscript, the peer reviewer, based on who I am. Oh, this is Raqib Chowdurry from Monash. Oh, yeah, he's well established. I think we should accept it because that would be good for our journal. No, it's not like that. So I don't have any advantage when I send my article to a journal. You don't have any disadvantage because you are still doing S1 or S2 or you're young or whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay? So just remember that. So we have to follow the guidelines to enhance our chances rather than be defensive like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm from UNES, I don't have a PhD, I'm young, I'm only 25, I've only been teaching for two years, I don't have this is my first international publication possibility, I'm so sorry. Don't be defensive. Okay? Just be confident, be yourself. Okay. So things that editors actually look at, they don't look at age, gender, nationality, PhD, etc. These are what they look at. Okay? Originality. Contemporariness. Contemporariness means something that is relevant to the time. This is 2026. If you still want to write an article on the benefits of CLT, communicative language teaching, that's from the 90s. Come on, guys. In 2026, people have stopped writing about the benefits of communicative language teaching. And that's why I told you in the morning that my presentation is not about the benefits of AI. It's already old topic, come on. You can even ask ChatGPT, it will tell you what the benefits are. We have to be critical, okay? So contemporaneous, theoretical and methodological rigor, which rigor means soundness, how solid it is, okay? It's not just random theories, methods together. Contribution, most important, contribution. Contribution means so what? You have a context, you have a methodology, you have some research questions, right? You have data from semi-structured interview, focus group discussion, observation, and then you do the analysis and then you answer the research question. Okay, everything is fine. So what? If you're writing for an international journal, why would someone care? Why would someone care about, let's say, the topic of student motivation in an SMR somewhere in Central Java? Why would they care? So what? So the contribution is very important. You have to showcase the contribution of your article when you submit to an international journal in a way that it will appeal to someone from outside Indonesia. It has to appeal to them. Otherwise, why would they care? It is important for you because you are doing it for your thesis, or because you are doing it because it's a requirement of your PhD candidature, or you need a promotion, or you're doing it to get some money, or you're doing it for reputation. Okay, good. But why should they care? Because the journal is based on Europe. So the so what contribution is very important. Okay, and of course quality of writing and all of that. So what are the most common reasons for rejection when it comes to international journals? Desk rejection means that it is rejected immediately by the editor. It's not even sent out for peer review because peer review is tedious. It is a free, it's a non-paid service that we do for our academic community. You know, the lecturers here, the professors, we all do peer review, okay? So the editors have to be very selective about which articles to send for peer review. If it's not good enough, it's not even peer reviewed. So these are some of the common reasons, but it can also be rejected by the peer reviewers later because of some of these reasons, including poor quality writing or mismatch between the theory and the methodology and the findings and the analysis, etc. So here are some authentic examples from my own experience as a peer reviewer. I do a lot of peer reviews every year, so let's look at some authentic examples. What is the topic of my presentation? Publishing in international journals, a strategic approach, right? That's the topic, right? Okay. So the strategic approach is going to be shown to you by pointing out some good examples, but also some bad examples, so that we can increase our good examples or practices and try to avoid the bad ones. So let's look at some examples here. So unclear thesis statement, look at this and try to understand why this is unclear. Why do you think this sentence, if you write something like that, it might be rejected just because it is unclear? My question is, why is it unclear? Anyone? Okay, let me tell you, because it's too general. It's not specific. It says multifarious influences of digital technology. Digital technology means many things, too general. Multifarious influences means many things. So both the influences and the technology are very general, very, very broad. And then you're saying two things. Teaching practices, that's many things. Learning outcomes, that's many things. It's just too general. And it's saying various educational context, many things. What context? Primary, secondary, high school. Indonesia, Malaysia, Australia. Everything here is too vague. So we have to avoid that. Here's the next one. Overuse of jargon and complex sentences. This is one of the problems of using AI. It will make you read a sentence that sounds very cool, but it is actually unnecessarily complex, and sometimes it is so complex that it even doesn't have any meaning. But you think, oh, it's really nice, it sounds very good. Such as this one. Take a look at this. So the sentence is too long, the syntax is too complicated, and some of the terminology used is not suitable to be written in an abstract. This was actually taken for an abstract. An abstract should be written in accessible language that is understandable by the general reader, without having specialist knowledge on the particular topic. All right, improper citation. Why is this improper? It's not specific. It doesn't have the date or anything specific. It just says Brown, Lee, and others. Who is others? Okay? So we have to avoid that. Here is another one. What happens when two peer reviewers tell you two different things about the same topic? The first peer reviewer says the literature review is well constructed and comprehensive. Okay, good. But the second one says it is underdeveloped, lacks critical engagement. How should you respond to this if you have sent your article to an international journal and two reviewers are saying two different things, contradictory? What do you do? What should you do? What would be a strategic approach to respond to this kind of feedback? Because it happens quite often. Anyone? What would be the wise thing to do, the smart thing to do? Habibi, what do you think? You should how can you make both of them happy? One is saying it's good, another one is saying it's bad. What would you do? Yeah, so just respond to the second one, because the first one says it's okay. Yeah, so we can do that. So the first one says it's okay, the second one says it's underdeveloped. So the wise thing to do would be to develop it, following the second reviewer suggestion, of course. But in our response, we have to acknowledge and point out that at least one reviewer says it is okay. Okay, so we always try to respond to feedback that is constructive. The first feedback is actually not constructive. Constructive feedback means feedback that helps. If someone says your writing is good, does that help? Or if someone says you should use more recent references to enhance the quality of your writing. That is helpful. Is that helpful? Yes, that is constructive because it is telling you how to improve. But the first one just says, oh, it is very good. That, it makes you feel good, but it is not constructive. So if you have contradictory feedback, no problem. Use the one that is constructive and respond accordingly. Okay, so critical feedback. So this is a different kind of problem. Here it is saying that there is a methodological deficiency. The study has already been conducted. You've already collected the data. You've analyzed the data. You've written the discussion. You've answered the research questions. You've drafted the paper. You've finalized the paper. You've submitted it. Now, if someone says the sample size is too small, should you go back and recruit more participants? Is it possible? No, it's not possible. The study is over. You can't do that. If you collect more participants, the methodology is changed. You can say round 1, round 2. It is different. So what should you do in that case? You shouldn't oblige. You should respond to this feedback by justifying why 25 is enough and why it is not possible or necessary to have more participants without being defensive. You don't have to oblige to this kind of request just because you are from Indonesia, outer circle country, periphery country, developing country, and the journal is from Europe. It's a Q1 journal. It's a prestigious journal. And if you get published, it's very good for you. You shouldn't oblige, okay? So my message is, if you get this kind of feedback, you don't necessarily have to follow it. You don't have to be defensive. You can justify. That is how we negotiate our critical position, okay? You have to be confident about that. Okay, critical feedback. Here is another critical feedback. We just skip this because it's the same point here. Lack of cohesion, we just skip this one. The same inconsistent use of academic tone. So we try to avoid this kind of tone, saying very cool or got a let out of colloquial language. Okay, we don't use that. Instead, we say something like this. It's more appropriate. Okay. Now the peer review process, we've already done that. Okay, now this is the other thing I want to show. I've shown you some case studies. Now I will show you how important an abstract is. An abstract has 5 things that must be there, otherwise it is incomplete. When you submit an article to any journal, international or local journal, what is the first thing the editor reads? The abstract, right? Yes. Sometimes the abstract is so important that the editor wouldn't even read the whole paper before deciding whether it should be sent out for peer review or not. It is so important that the desk acceptance or desk rejection depends just on the abstract. It is so important. So you have to make sure some of these things are already there. So this is an example of a poor abstract. I want you to read it and tell me why it is not a good abstract. This is very important. Please pay attention. I'm nearly done. I'll be finished in 10 minutes, so I want your attention. This is very important. Why is this not a good abstract? I'll give you 1 minute to read it, and please give me some answers from the floor, please. All right, any responses? This is not a good abstract, but there is no grammatical mistake. The vocabulary is okay. The meaning is clear. The grammar is okay, the structure is okay, everything is fine, there are no mechanical issues. The language is absolutely fine, but there is a big problem. What's that? Maybe AI has written that, but what is missing here? Almost everything is missing. Is there anything new in this topic? There's nothing new. Okay, the use of artificial intelligence has become popular in higher education, including academic writing. Boring. Boring, come on. What about this study aims to explore the benefits of using AI tools for Indonesian undergraduate students. Come on. What is the point of exploring the benefits? Everyone knows the benefits. That's not an original topic. Yeah, there is no. And then, but look at the red. The findings, okay, this is very important. The findings show that AI helps students to improve grammar, vocabulary, organization of ideas. Come on, we already know that. Of course, that's even a child knows that. And you're writing this in an abstract and sending your paper to an international journal, they will reject, they won't even answer to your response. For you, it's very important that you've done this study, you've done, qualitative case study, you've answered research. For you, it's very, very important. For the editor, oh, this is boring, come on. But you don't realize that there is nothing original here. We already know that it helps students. Students reported that AI made academic writing easier and faster. Are you kidding me? Of course. We already know that. It's boring. This study concludes, it's the main finding, okay? AI can be beneficial for undergraduate students, can be used as a useful tool in academic writing. Come on. Again, the results of this study are expected to contribute to the development of teaching and learning in higher education. That's the most boring sentence ever. So how can we improve it and avoid this kind of writing? Here is another example. We go back to the next slide. Okay. This is why it's weak. Okay. So this is the better version. Take a look. This is specific. This is more detailed in terms of both theory and methodology and context and findings and so what? Contribution. It is also more critical because it has a however. It says it's not just this is good, this is bad, this is black, this is white. There's also a gray area. It is conditional. It is nuanced. It is critical. And there is still room for more. This is 173 words. You can usually write up to 200 words. It's not even full. You can even add another sentence. Still room for it. Okay? So just keep that in mind. So writing a strong abstract is as important, maybe even more important than writing the full article. Because the abstract might be the only thing the editor of an international journal is reading before deciding whether it should be sent for peer review or not. It is very, very important. It's very important. Otherwise, rejection. So what is important? Now, the tip for Indonesian writers like you, stop or avoid framing Indonesia as lacking or behind. No, be proud of Indonesia. Don't say, oh, I'm sorry, we are a developing country. We don't have this, we don't have that. We need to do this. No. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Don't do that. For international journals, be proud of it. Just like I'm saying things about my country, I've conducted research in my country in a way that you can't do it. You guys need to know what I'm talking about. You have to have that positive spirit when you want to publish internationally. Emphasize contextual richness and analytical insight that only you have because you're in this country. Don't position yourself in a subjugated position. Okay? Choosing the right journal. I've already talked about this. You have to make sure that the journal guidelines fit, but also the topic fits within the scope of the journal. Red flags. If the journal says, oh, quick publication, free publication, there is no editorial board, they send you emails, you be careful about that, spam. Or predatory journals, be very careful about it. Okay, strategic approach and then aspirational. So strategic then aspirational means if you are new, if you are young, if you haven't published in high-ranked journals yet, okay, don't be too aspirational at the beginning. Just be strategic. Doesn't have to be Q1, Q2, okay? It could be a journal that is not even Scopus indexed, and then slowly you go into Scopus index or Q1, Q2, this is not Scopus, this is Web of Science. And then you have Cinta, and within Cinta you have 6 levels. So be aspirational, but before that be strategic, okay? One by one. Don't run too fast, you'll fall. You submit to conversations, okay? So this is a list of some of the pros and cons of choosing high-ranking journals, low-ranking journals. Low-ranking journals, publication acceptance rate higher, publication time quicker, etc. But you have fewer citations, fewer recognition. And in Indonesia, you get paid as well, so maybe you don't get enough money. In Australia, we don't get paid for publishing. It's part of our job anyway. On the other hand, high-ranked journals takes longer. Sometimes it takes 1 year to even wait for peer review, and then you say, okay, we have sent it for peer review. And within that 1 year, it is unethical for you to send the same article to a different journal. You can't do that. You'll be blacklisted. So you just have to wait for 12 months, and then they say it's rejected. Oh, why didn't you tell me before? I would send it somewhere else. No, they don't care about it. Okay? So there is a trade-off between high-ranked and low-ranked. You have to be strategic. If you are more experienced, if you are more confident, if you think your study is more original, well-written, if it makes an international contribution very clear beyond Indonesia, by all means send it to a high-ranked journal. But if not, at the beginning, be a bit more strategic. Okay? You don't have to do everything together. Increasing chances of acceptance. The topic might be old, but you can give it an Indonesian twist, something to make it very localized but appealing to international audience. Your advantage as Indonesian scholars is that you have access to under-researched contexts. We don't have that in Australia because in Australia it's developed. But you have that. You have the ability to challenge Western assumptions, dominant Western assumptions. Decolonial perspective, remember I said in the first presentation? So don't see yourself in a negative way, see yourself in a positive way. And you have to handle rejection productively or professionally instead of being defensive or instead of getting angry. Okay, so those of us who have been publishing for a long time, Prof. Dia, Prof. Wasino, Prof. Fatur Rahman, we have a thick skin. We have a thick skin like a rhinoceros. If we are rejected, we don't feel so sad. But if you're new, maybe you'll feel sad. Because we know that peer review is not a personal judgment. It's blind. And I still get rejected every year. Just because I've been publishing for 25 years doesn't mean that my articles are always accepted. It doesn't mean that they don't like me personally. It means that, there's something it didn't fit or whatever it is. It's okay. So be positive about it. Use rejection as a writing apprenticeship, which means a path towards learning how to write better, experience, okay? And publishing with being critical about it, I've already talked about that. And this is my final slide. So I'll finish in 2 minutes. So this is my final advice to you when it comes to being strategic in terms of publishing in international journals. And this is important for everyone if you're a student doing undergraduate or PhD, or if you're an established lecturer, docent, it's for everyone. Choose a topic you care about rather than because it is cool. Don't choose a topic because it's cool. If you don't care about it, don't choose it. You have to be mentally, intellectually invested in the topic. You have to care about it. If you don't care about a topic, if you choose it just because, everyone says it's really cool, your writing will reflect that subconsciously. You don't know that, but the peer reviewer, the editor would say, they actually don't like the topic. They just chose it because they think it's important. Choose an issue or a problem. Not just a topic. If you say AI is just a topic, what is the issue here? Perform research with your heart. So again, personal investment. Don't do it because of requirements. Because I'm writing a PhD, so I need a Q1, Q2. Don't do it just because of requirement. Do it from the heart. Be truly knowledgeable about research, latest research. If you have chosen a topic and you want to write an article on that topic, do you know what research has already been done on that topic in the last 5 years? You must know what has already been done, where the gaps are. And the only way of knowing that is to read. You have to read journal articles. If ChatGPT does your literature review, if you are not reading journal articles, you will never know what's happening. There is no shortcut. I'm telling you guys, there is no shortcut to being knowledgeable about latest research if you don't read. There is no shortcut. There is no shortcut in 2026. There will be no shortcut in 2036, 2040, 2050. Technology can make our lives quicker, but it can't really increase your intellect. Never, never. AI can help you save time, but it can't increase your knowledge. You know why? Because in the 80s, when we used the calculator, it was still new. So we already knew 12 times 12, 144. Everyone had to memorize the times table. If you ask a school student today, I don't know about Indonesia, in Australia, if you ask 12 times 12, they will open their calculator and they will try to type it there. So there is no shortcut. There is no shortcut to intellectual capacity. There is a shortcut to saving time, yes. But intellectual capacity, there is no shortcut. Not even in 10 years, 50 years, never, never. There is no shortcut. You just have to read, okay? Try to see the real contribution you're making. So what? It's an Indonesian topic. Okay, so what? Why should a reader from France or Germany or UK or Canada or New Zealand or Australia care about it? Of course they should care about it. But it's your responsibility to make that contribution, so what, clear. Otherwise, even the editor wouldn't care about it, let alone the peer reviewer. And engage in constructive conversations, and remember that good research is always collaboration. That's why we have UNES and Monash University come together and we sign memorandum of understanding, and with Prof. Fatul we will be doing that tomorrow as well. So good research is collaborative, not competitive. Don't compete with someone else. Try to be friends with them and create research together. Terima kasih. Thank you very much, everyone.
For Dr. Raqib Chowdurry. So, any question? Or comments, please? So, still be yourself. The
Be
conclusion,
yourself.
yeah, be yourself, the conclusion. Okay, oh, Prof. Vito, you want asking something?
Izin, Prof.
Yes,
Bismillah.
please.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My
Yeah.
name is Yuda Ayu from Education Management. I have an experience when I writing a manuscript with using reference from several articles from reputation journal. I check in the Turnitin and the result is below 13%. But I check in AI detector, the result is almost 100%.
Yeah.
Even this is my original writing.
Yeah, yeah.
And my ask is why did this happen?
Yes,
Thank you,
yes.
sir.
What is your name?
Yuda Ayu.
Yuda
Yuda.
Ayu.
Yes.
Yuda, are you, that's a similar question like Prof. Dia was asking, similar question, right? So I trust you, it is 100% you, not AI. But Turnitin says 36% and AI detector says almost 100%, yeah. But I believe you. I believe you because Turnitin and AI detector like I think authenticate. Someone said authenticate.
Authenticate.
Yeah, these are not reliable. Ibu, these are not reliable. So they are based on algorithms that are still not accurate to detect. So if you use different tools, you will get different numbers. So don't worry about it.
Okay.
If the editor suspects that they need proof that you didn't use AI, it is not possible for you to provide proof. How can you provide proof that it's your writing, it's not AI? You can't do that, right? Instead, most journals now require an AI declaration. And in that AI declaration, you can say that you haven't used any AI, or you can say that AI has been used for proofreading purposes only, or something like that. And that is acceptable at Monash University, even for assignments. Even for assignments, we allow students to use AI with ethical and responsible acknowledgement. But the technology is not reliable, so don't worry about that. It's not your fault. It's the fault is the limitation of the technology. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Okay. So, any else? Enough? So, Alhamdulillah, in this afternoon, from in the morning until right now, so we have two topics of very attractive and very useful for us and excellent. So, hopefully, all of us can write more article and more credible in the journal, credible journal. So thank you very much for all audience in online and offline. So please give applause for Dr. Raqib Chowdurry. So see you in the next semester.
Yes, hopefully I'll be back. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you very much for your attentiveness. And once again, thank you to my moderator, Prof. Titin, to my host, Prof. Fatur Rahman, and to all academics, colleagues, students and staff from UNES, all the volunteers for inviting me once again. Hopefully this is not my last visit. Hopefully I'll see you again next time at UNES. Thank you very much. Sekolah Pasca Sarjana, all the volunteers and committee members. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I give it back to Miss Helmin. The time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Please give applause once again for Dr. Raqib and Prof. Titin that present about the first presentation. And thank you very much, Dr. Raqib, for your enlightening presentation and valuable insight. And we truly appreciate your contribution and perspective about AA in academic writing and publishing international journal. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Raqib. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, well. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we going to the second sections of in this seminar, and we are honored to have us today as an honorable second speaker, Profesor Dr. Suwito Eko Pramono, MBD, from Graduate School Universitas Negeri Semarang. And with the time, the importance of academic publication as a graduation requirement. And in this section will be moderated by Profesor Dr. Diah Rini Indriati MP. Good morning, Prof. Vito and Prof. Diah. And this is your turn. So the floor is yours, Prof. Diah and Prof. Vito.
Apa Pak? Iya, iya, iya. Ya aku tak ini menyesuaikan ini.
Okay, thank you, Bu Hermin. Let me start now. Okay, yeah. The Honorable Director of Postgraduate, Professor Dr. Fatur Rahman M. Hum, the Honorable Vice Director of Postgraduate, Head of Study of Postgraduate UNES, lecturers, and I'm proud of Magister and doctoral student of postgraduate program who join this event. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Diah Rini Indriati. I will be guiding the second session of this evening. Well, before that, we praise and gratitude to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala because today we can gather and had listened the presentation from expert lecture from Monash University in Melbourne, Australia. Dr. Raqib, we have listened together. Well, when I mentioned the name of Monash University, I remember when I was young. When I was doctoral student in 2010, I have been in Monash University. I received scholarship for 3 months in the frame of called sandwich. In English, sandwich is convenient food consisting slice of bread filled with other ingredients such as meat, cheese, jam, or vegetable. But in this program, sandwich mean collaboration between student and lecture abroad to complete the dissertation research report. Maybe now there is no sandwich again, but maybe another name of the program to increase doctoral student. Well, after listening the Raqib presentation about the AI and then publishing international journal, we hope that it is a benefit for student of magister and doctorals to prepare your manuscript. Yeah. And then the second presentation will be give Prof. Suwito Eko Pramono. The topic is urgency and publication strategy to reputable journal. Prof. Suwito, he is an education expert. He is a coordinator of program in SPS UNES. So let me hear what I have presentation. Okay, let's listen to Prof. Suwito presentation. This is the material is very useful for magister and doctor student. Please, Mr. Suwito, the time is yours.
Nggih. Terima kasih Bu Diah, Bapak Ibu, saudara-saudara para mahasiswa yang saya hormati. Pada kesempatan ini, kalau saya pakai bahasa Inggris, tadi sudah pusing dengan bahasa Inggris. Kemudian kalau bahasa Inggrisnya nanti saya yang menyampaikan semakin rumit lagi, tambah pusing. Oleh karena itu di tengah-tengah untuk suasana supaya lebih santai, saya tetap akan menggunakan bahasa Indonesia karena pesertanya juga tidak ada yang sebenarnya berbahasa sehari-harinya dengan bahasa Inggris. Bapak Ibu yang saya hormati, dengan mengucap Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Selamat pagi, salam sehat, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Dan izinkan saya pada kesempatan ini untuk menyampaikan sebuah topik sebenarnya dari Pak Direktur, hanya urgensi publikasi pada jurnal bereputasi. Tapi kemudian saya tambah dengan kata strategi, karena kalau bicara urgensi mungkin 2 atau 3 kalimat sudah selesai. Jadi ini satu hal, sehingga saya lebih kepada bagaimana strateginya itu yang paling penting, karena ada beberapa hal, terutama nanti kalau kita berbicara hal-hal yang terkait dengan katanya dis dan sebagainya, nanti ketemu pada jurnal-jurnal cloning, jurnal-jurnal predator. Nah, oleh karena itu untuk menghindari itu seperti apa, ini kan satu hal. Oke, jadi nggak bisa jalan ya Mas Meldi? Oh bisa. Jadi mohon izin Bu Dia supaya.
Ya, monggo silakan.
Oke, jadi ini pengantar tapi sekaligus juga nanti sudah masuk ke urgensi. Jadi publikasi artikel ilmiah merupakan indikator di dalam kegiatan akademik. Terlepas bahwa apakah ini menjadi sesuatu yang benar-benar firm, artinya secara faktual seperti itu. Tetapi memang ini adalah kenyataan di dalam kegiatan akademik, kita bukan sekedar melakukan kegiatan pembelajaran, tetapi memang melakukan penelitian, melakukan pengabdian, jadi semuanya. Jadi dengan beberapa konsep yang sering kita dengar, sesungguhnya adalah menjadi sesuatu yang memang harus kita lakukan. Soal kemanfaatannya seperti apa tergantung nanti pada waktu kita hilirisasi. Termasuk di dalam kegiatan ilmiah yang disebut dengan penelitian, toh harus dikomunikasikan. Bagaimana cara mengomunikasikan? Melalui artikel. Kalau artikel-artikel yang kita tulis itu diterima oleh dunia internasional, niscaya apa yang kita pikirkan itu paling tidak mendapat respon. Kalau Bu Diah ditanya H indeksnya mesti tinggi, karena orang-orang MIPA itu biasanya H indeksnya tinggi-tinggi. Sekarang sampai berapa ya Bu Diah? Loh malah tertawa. Ya itu realita. Jadi kalau Profita itu kan tahun ini harus 9. Jadi dari 7 mau 9. Terus saya kemarin ditantang Pak Wito, diintipkan tuh saya itu berapa? Saya itu 3 aja sudah cukup. Tapi tadi pada waktu saya mau tak intip ternyata sudah 5. Artinya sebagai bidangnya ilmu sosial sudah 5 itu sudah termasuk, ya bagi saya adalah bagus karena memang berat di ilmu sosial. Kalau di Google Scholar-nya sih sudah 16 karena itu kan standarnya, kalau yang 5 adalah internasional, kalau yang 16 standarnya Sinta. Tapi kan sudah lumayan. Terus yang di skornya sudah 2.500 itu sebenarnya masih rendah karena ada yang sudah 17.000 gitu. Nah, jadi tapi ini juga sesuatu yang memang berat. Kemudian yang paling penting adalah bagaimana kita bisa publikasi pada jurnal-jurnal bereputasi. Ya termasuk di sini nanti apa? Scopus atau di WOS. Ini yang paling penting. Tetapi yang paling penting Bapak Ibu kan harus memahami apa sih urgensinya. Nah di sini saya pertama menyampaikan tentang sebagai diseminasi pengetahuan. Artinya apa yang kita pikirkan apakah bisa ditangkap. Ini nanti gambarannya diterima atau tidak adalah sebenarnya dari jumlah sitasi. Kalau jurnal-jurnal kita banyak dirujuk itu alhamdulillah berarti banyak diterima apa yang kita pikirkan. Saya dulu pada waktu pertama kali masih muda bicara di Jakarta, banyak teman-teman dari luar Jawa kemudian apa? Minta dilatih cara menyusun ini. Kemudian setelah publish, dia, tapi waktu itu belum ada WA, SMS. Jadi saya sudah bisa publish, terima kasih. Jadi hanya caranya seperti ini, langkahnya begini. Memang kalau bicara apa yang disebut dengan state of the art itu memang agak susah karena teorinya harus kuat. Makanya saya kadang-kadang bersyukur meskipun saya S1, S2 sejarah, tapi begitu bicara manajemen, saya pikir ya saya pokoknya jangan mau kalah dengan dosen-dosen manajemen kalau bicara masalah teori. Kadang-kadang teman-teman di manajemen saya tahu, ngerti enggak tentang misalnya SEC, jadi Social Action Theory. Kadang-kadang enggak ngerti TPB, Theory of Planet Behavior, enggak ngerti. Kemudian saya cerita tentang teori ekologi yang terdiri dari 5 dimensi, dari mikrosistem, kemudian ada meso, ada ekso, ada makro, ada kronos. Jadi ini bagian-bagian yang sebenarnya memudahkan kita di dalam menjelaskan sebuah fenomena. Makanya di sini definisi pengetahuan itu berarti sehingga ada pengakuan ilmiah dan selanjutnya adalah penguatan reputasi kita. Nanti saya tunjukkan sebagai contoh reputasi, karena saya membawa Bu Barokah. Jadi Bu Barokah dulu sama-sama di LPPM, kemudian saya bawa pada waktu penulisan sehingga masuk di Q1. Jadi Bu Barokah itu meskipun bukan penulis pertama sudah pernah nyentuh ke sana. Ini kan satu contoh. Saya pun di situ sebenarnya bukan penulis pertama, tapi contoh kedua nanti saya di penulis pertamanya. Jadi kenapa bisa seperti itu? Ya sebenarnya saya waktu itu hanya membawa teman dari luar negeri itu untuk mempercepat. Itu kan salah satu strategi juga. Sehingga publikasi bereputasi ini bisa meningkatkan visibilitas, meningkatkan citasi, kemudian dampak ilmiah dan seterusnya. Dan tentu yang keempat yang paling penting bahwa di dalam proses pendidikan di perguruan tinggi khususnya jenjang doktor itu memang ada kewajiban untuk menghasilkan karya ilmiah. Kalau di edaran rektor ini nanti Mas Meldi ini enggak bisa. Lah ini ada edaran rektor. Edaran rektor itu di dalam nomor B garis miring 6752 garis miring UN 37 garis miring DI dan seterusnya. Mahasiswa program doktor yang telah memiliki publikasi pada jurnal bereputasi Scopus maupun luas dapat mengikuti ujian disertasi setelah ujian kelayakan atau seminar hasil. Nah, pengertian ujian disertasi memang di sini ada 2 tahap. Tahap pertama, tahap kedua atau tertutup terbuka. Hanya saja di SPS UNES khususnya, di UNES pada umumnya, bagi mahasiswa S3 yang telah publikasi pada jurnal misalnya Scopus Q1 atau Q2, atau 2 publikasi di Q3 dan Q4, atau Q3 dan Q3, Q4 dan Q4, boleh ujiannya hanya sekali. Ini kan satu peluang untuknya. Hanya saja kalau ujiannya sekali memang saya agak sedikit galak. Ya galaknya supaya disertasinya begitu dibaca oleh adik-adik kelas kita itu ya agak layak lah. Jadi bukan berarti galak dalam artian. Kemarin pada waktu seminar hasil pun itu Bu Barokah ikut, saya itu ya tetap kesannya galak. Memang para mahasiswa, wah ternyata yang susah itu malah dari Prof Vito. Karena saya menggunakan standar yang bisa berlaku. Makanya ketika nguji di Jogja, di Jakarta, di Medan, di Malang pun apa? Wah kok beda banget ya caranya berpikir. Karena saya memang lebih mengorientasikan kepada kemampuan berpikir big picture. Jadi garis besarnya, kerangka besarnya. Atau yang disebut dengan, kalau di jurnal yang baru kan banyak muncul istilah building block. Jadi blok-blok yang berserakan dikonstruksi menjadi satu pemikiran yang utuh. Itu jadi ini menjadi bagian penting. Kemudian di poin, itu poin 9 sebenarnya. Di poin 10-nya mahasiswa program dokter yang telah memiliki 2 publikasi pada jurnal terindeks. Jadi kalau baca di edaran itu sebenarnya syaratnya 1 di 9, 2 di poin 10. Jadi poin 10 bicara 2 Sinta, jadi seolah-olah harus ada yang di Scopus, ada yang di Sinta. Cuma kebijakan para pimpinan lokalnya tidak terlalu firm dengan surat edaran itu tetapi kemudian diturunkan. Artinya kalau sudah memiliki yang diskopus, baik yang Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, yang nomor 10-nya tidak diperhatikan. Jadi untuk meringankan. Dan ini pun sebenarnya lebih ringan. Kalau Bapak Ibu kuliah di UNY Jogja, maka ijazahnya meskipun sudah ujian, tidak bisa diambil apabila Bapak Ibu sudah publish di Scopus tapi di Scopusnya tidak keluar atau belum keluar. Nah ini juga hati-hati. Ada yang 1 minggu ID Scopusnya keluar, ada yang berbulan-bulan tidak. Kenapa? Karena jurnal itu sekali terbit mungkin 20 artikel, 60 artikel. Ya artikel yang berapa yang dapat, jadi yang dapat paling 10-12, yang lainnya nggak akan dapat. Ditunggu sampai 1 tahun ya tidak akan dapat. Lah inilah yang harus hati-hati. Maka story dalam jurnal itu harus diperhatikan. Berikutnya tentang masalah yang terkait dengan strategi. Jadi yang pertama penentuan judul. Kelihatannya sederhana, tapi judul menjadi satu poin penting karena kita akan tertarik untuk membaca atau tidak tergantung pada judulnya. Oleh karena itu, catatannya judul harus spesifik. Jadi di jurnal apapun, saudara tidak usah berpikir kalau di Scopus lebih sulit, belum tentu. Sinta menurut saya jauh lebih sulit daripada di internasional. Kalau yang S2, jangan berpikir di Sinta 4 atau langsung saja di internasional, 3 hari paling bisa terbit. Kalau di S2 karena tidak ada syarat yang di Scopus. Lah di Scopus itu kelihatannya juga kadang-kadang, wah di Scopus sulit. Sebenarnya belum tentu juga. Tergantung dari poin-poin yang nanti menjadi bagian yang dinilai. Kemudian judul yang baik juga harus menunjukkan misalnya ada konteks kebaruan, konteksnya apa. Kemudian kontribusi ilmiahnya baik teoritis maupun praktisnya itu harus jelas. Nah ini yang memang harus semuanya berkaitan, benang merahnya harus nyambung. Jadi tidak seperti clipping. Makanya kalau yang AI-nya sudah dianu apa belum tadi? Yang proper sudah ya. Nah nanti kan apa? Jangan sampai nanti ada catatan kecil tentang masalah AI, tapi saya hanya untuk memudahkan saja. Kalau detailnya Pak Raqib sudah. Kemudian judul memang harus bisa menggambarkan kontribusi teoritisnya atau kemampuan praktisnya itu harus kelihatan. Makanya saya kalau membimbing disertasi kepada mahasiswa di bagian latar belakang itu sudah bisa dilihat kira-kira apa manfaatnya, apa tujuannya. Jadi baru di latar belakang. Makanya saya itu kalau membimbing disertasi, kalau latar belakangnya sudah firm, langsung larinya ke poin kedua, yaitu kerangka teoritis. Teorinya apa? Kajian variabel itu yang terpenting, lalu dibangun kerangka berpikir. Setelah itu selesai, karena metode given, sudah nggak usah ngotak-atik, ya apa yang dipilih ya sudah seperti itu. Jadi tinggal ada atau tidak, digunakan atau tidak ditulis. Kalau yang tidak nggak usah ditulis. Kan bisa berpikir simpel sederhana. Apakah disertasi harus 700 halaman? Tidak. Tapi ya jangan terlalu tipis lah. Kalau tidak ada 100 kan orang ragu-ragu. Apalagi kita ilmu sosial. Kalau ilmunya Prof. Diah itu mungkin 25 halaman cukup. Bahkan ada yang katanya 10 halaman sudah bisa menjadi disertasi karena sangat padat. Kemudian setelah penentuan judul, berikutnya adalah yang terkait dengan masalah, ini contoh. Nah ini yang saya katakan Bu Barokah, itu kan yang pertama ada teman dari Thailand, kemudian Pak Bonrat juga dari Thailand, terus nama saya, nama Bu Barokah, nama Mas Angga. Ini dosen manajemen. Jadi judulnya An Analysis of Causal Factor of Blended Learning in Thailand. Ini karena penulis utamanya dari Thailand. Nah, mengapa kok bisa masuk ke sana? Ya memang sharing pada waktu pertemuan internasional semacam ini. Nah, di judul kedua, di berikutnya ini kemudian di Springer. Makanya pada waktu ini publish kan Bunikan itu, Bapak kowe aku wis ora ketemu. Ada apa? Nanti saya ditraktir ya. Masalah apa? Kalau traktir itu sekarang kelihatannya saya tetap siap gitu toh. Enggak, ternyata masuk di Springer Q1 ini. ya nanti ditraktir itu. Nah, ternyata memang Bu Niken itu salah satu tugasnya memang mengidentifikasi publikasi para dosen di UNES. Contoh yang kedua, nah ini yang sebenarnya kenapa tadi saya masuk, karena di tulisan saya yang pertama ini juga memasukkan yang penulis terakhirnya adalah Bonrat dari Thailand, dan dia kelihatannya membalas dengan cara semacam itu. Makanya begitu namanya sudah keluar, tawaran itu luar biasa. Tapi bagi mahasiswa yang pertama kali kepengen menulis di itu rasanya kok susah banget mau masuk. Nah ini kan saya yang pertama, kemudian Pak Arif, Pak Angga, kemudian Pak Nasrun dari Medan, dan yang kelima penulisnya dari Thailand. Ini contoh yang kedua di International Journal of Education and Learning. Ya ini hanya sebagai contoh-contoh. Jadi ini yang perlu diperhatikan. Kemudian penentuan judul. Referensi berasal dari jurnal. Ini sebenarnya penentuan referensi, judulnya tadi sudah di atas. Berasal dari jurnal bereputasi dan relevan dengan topik penelitian. Jadi apa yang ingin dijadikan referensi itu harusnya relevan dengan topik atau judul yang Bapak Ibu pilih. Kemudian prioritaskan artikel yang 5 tahun ke bawah, ya maksimal 10 tahun lah. Jadi jangan sampai yang terlalu lama. Kenapa? Barangkali aktualitas dari artikel itu, dari berita itu sudah agak kedaluwarsa. Ini memang menjadi poin penting. Kemudian yang ketiga, pastikan referensi sesuai dengan format jurnal yang dituju. Jadi misalnya apakah menggunakan apa, atau ini American Geology Association, ini terutama yang edisi ke-7, atau yang IEEE itu Institute Electronic and Electronical Engineering, atau yang Vancouver. Jadi kalau ada jurnal kok tulisannya misalnya pakai angka di atas rujukan itu, jadi kurungnya pakai kotak. Dari depan, kemudian ada angka 1 dikurung tutup, tapi kurungnya bukan yang bundar ya, tapi yang kotak. Itu berarti pakai IE3. Kalau yang cuma 1 kayak catatan kaki modelnya itu adalah dari Vancouver. Itu hanya persoalan citasi, persoalan rujukan. Jadi harus sesuai dengan jurnal yang dituju dipelajari. Makanya sebelum menuju ke jurnal yang ingin kita masuki, ya kita harus membaca minimal 1-2 artikel. Bahkan kalau rujukan salah satu citasi merujuk dari sana, itu akan mendapat penghargaan, seolah-olah dinilai, oh orang ini membaca jurnal saya. Jadi memang kadang-kadang ya kita sering agak oportunis sedikit lah supaya bisa lari. Kemudian yang berikutnya, yang terkait dengan penyusunan artikel berbasis anatomi. Nah ini yang menjadi bagian penting. Nah, struktur artikel umumnya terdiri dari pendahuluan, kemudian kajian literatur termasuk nanti teori, termasuk state of the art ada di sini. Kemudian metode, hasil, dan yang paling penting sebenarnya di pembahasan atau discussion-nya. Jadi karena di sini persoalan elaborasi itu menggambarkan keluasan wawasan dan pengetahuan saudara akan menjadi poin penting. Kemudian yang kedua juga terkadang ada jurnal yang menggunakan hanya introduction, method, result, dan discussion. Jadi agak sedikit berbeda. Ini mungkin lebih sederhana karena kajian literaturnya tidak ada. Tetapi biasanya di introduction-nya sudah dimasukkan, terutama yang terkait dengan state of the art-nya. Kemudian setiap bagian memiliki fungsi argumentatif yang saling terhubung. Inilah yang seringkali Bapak Ibu di dalam termasuk menyusun disertasi, Pak Arif nyusun disertasi kok kayak nyusun clipping. Bagian ini dengan berikutnya kayak terpisah. Nah, jadi cuma ditempel, kemudian ketika oleh karena itu benang merah itu harus nyambung terus. Makanya begitu latar belakang sudah selesai, sebenarnya ke belakangnya tinggal menyesuaikan. Makanya saya kalau menulis latar belakang itu kepada para mahasiswa selalu, kemarin itu Mbak Sony itu saya cerita agak panjang, jadi terlalu banyak muter-muter kayak membelah dunia. Ya kalau seperti Amerika kan menguasai Venezuela 5 jam selesai, tapi ini dengan muter-muter pun nggak akan terbelah. Makanya saya selalu berpikir apa yang menjadi isu utama atau riset problemnya. ketika riset problem sudah diatasi, diperbaiki, ditingkatkan, apa tujuan besarnya? Nah itulah tujuan besarnya dijadikan pengantar, baru masuk ke phenomenal gap. Setelah gapnya ketemu diidentifikasi supaya konsep atau variabel yang akan dijadikan dasar kajian bisa ketemu. Kemudian ditempeli sedikit tentang riset gap untuk menghindari dugaan adanya plagiasi atau kejenuhan. Nah yang terakhir kayak punya Mbak Sony kemarin pada ujian proposal ditulis dilakukan penelitian dengan judul S1 aja sudah enggak laku Mbak. Ya kalau S3 berdasarkan penjelasan di atas maka permasalahan ini masih layak dikaji melalui penelitian dengan alasan tunjukkan urgensinya, tunjukkan implikasinya. Jadi lebih kayak gagah lah caranya berpikir. Jangan ditulis dengan judul, itu di S1 aja saya sudah dihapus judulnya depan aja itu. Enggak, ini kan berpikir lebih konstruktif sekarang sudah. Kalau dulu ya memang modelnya seperti itu ditiru, sekarang kan harus berubah. Nah inilah fungsi-fungsi argumentatifnya sehingga ketika cakupan atau pembatasan masalah tidak sekedar muncul tiba-tiba. Kemarin kan ada yang juga penguji Prof. Herilanu, saya tidak setuju. Penelitian belum dilakukan sudah pengembangan model bla-bla berbasis. Kan berbasisnya itu nanti kalau sudah diteliti. Prof. Samsudi selaku promotornya, kalau saya setuju enggak apa-apa karena itu akan lebih terarah. Ya pikiran orang semuanya seperti teori yang digunakan oleh Mbak Sony kemarin RBP itu sebenarnya punya perspektif sendiri-sendiri enggak apa-apa. Akhirnya saya nengai, dua-duanya tidak ada yang salah tetapi harus ada syaratnya di depan. Kalau Bapak Ibu mau melakukan penelitian misalnya berbasis teknologi informasi, maka teknologi informasi itu harus sudah dikaji secara mendalam di bagian latar belakang sehingga layak dijadikan basis. Karena basis itu harus memiliki sifat yang established, mantap, kita tidak akan ragu-ragu. Tapi belum pernah dibicarakan tahu-tahu berbasis. Ya oleh karena itu Prof. Herilanu merasa tidak setuju tiba-tiba lahir dari mana, itu ya sebenarnya tidak keliru. Prof. Samsudi mengatakan itu ya sah-sah saja boleh, tapi saya nengai boleh seperti pikiran Prof. Samsudi tetapi harus sudah dijelaskan di depan, jadi tidak muncul secara tiba-tiba. Ini kira-kira persoalan argumentatifnya adalah di situ, karena di dalam pembatasan itu sesungguhnya kalau kuantitatif kan selalu berbicara pada konsep atau variabelnya, tapi kalau kualitatif pembatasan bisa mencakup masalah ruang dan waktu. Ya jujur aja kadang-kadang kita juga berdiskusi dengan para penguji. Loh kalau ini kan harusnya masalah ruang dan waktu. Ya boleh kalau kualitatif, tapi kalau kuantitatif kan nggak bisa. Karena kuantitatif itu ada unsur generalisasi. Kok malah dibatasi waktu dan ruang ya nggak berlaku, generalisasinya akan hilang. Akhirnya kan kita saling sharing, saling belajar, mana yang paling pas silahkan ditentukan sendiri. Nah berikutnya yang terkait dengan persoalan, nah ini yang kadang-kadang kan sering muncul, selalu orang berbicara harus bertitik dari gap. Tapi di dalam konsep under maupun over riset itu sedikit diteliti bukan berarti memiliki gap. Ya jadi ini yang perlu diperhatikan. Jadi gap itu akan selalu muncul. Banyak diteliti bukan berarti sudah tidak memiliki gap. Ya, jadi ini yang perlu. Jadi meskipun sudah sering diteliti, gap itu tetap bisa muncul. Penelitiannya baru beberapa. Ini paling-paling lebih mudah untuk ke novelty atau kebaruan. Kalau Pak Rektor, Prof. Martono itu, ini baru apa lama? Terus caranya ngecek, buka HP-nya, kemudian disuruh masuk ke Google, ketik. Kemudian kalau ngetik satu kata, kemudian muncul banyak sekali, berarti itu sudah sering ditulis, sering dikaji. Tapi kalau munculnya sedikit, itu menurut Prof. Martono, itu gambaran relatif masih sedikit yang mengkaji. Nah, ini menjadi bagian penting. Oleh karena itu, di dalam penelitian itu, gap-gap itu perlu diperhatikan. Ini yang saya berikan sebagai gambaran agak contohnya. Ini ada evidence gap. Kemudian ada knowledge gap, ada practical knowledge gap, ada methodological gap, ada empirical gap, ada theoretical gap, ada population gap. Jadi semua bisa dijadikan gap asal Bapak Ibu mampu memberikan satu penjelasan. Jadi bukan berarti hanya dari phenomenal gap atau riset gap, tetapi yang lain pun. Karena perbedaan teori, perbedaan populasi juga bisa menjadi gap. Nah ini yang perlu diperhatikan. Makanya ini Budia lagi minta saya kadang-kadang itu judulnya bisa berubah loh yang saya minta sama Budia. Karena saya di terakhirnya evidence in Indonesia and China. Lalu kemudian dari Pak Arif, Pak China-nya dibuangkan aja nanti ngumpulkan data di sana susah gitu misalnya. Ya nanti pikirlah sama belakang. Tapi sebenarnya tadinya saya berpikirnya nanti pakai Google minta bantuan sama Bu Wati ya, terus untuk ini nanti ngisi secara garis besar. Jadi di dalam tata kelola penyelenggaraan pendidikan. Ya tapi ya nggak tahu nanti memang kemarin pikiran-pikiran karena ditagih sama Bunda itu kalau terlambat itu yang nggak enak. Saya pertamanya, Prof judulnya kok panjang banget. Alah nanti anak judulnya tak hapus, dihapus betul. Tapi terus saya setelah pikir-pikir ternyata saya ubah lagi. Jadi tidak sekaligus jadi. Makanya pertimbangan-pertimbangan semacam ini menjadi satu poin. Jadi penentukan gap penelitian dari sisi mana silakan sesuai dengan apa yang dalam konteks yang Bapak Ibu kaji. Yang berikutnya yang terkait dengan persoalan novelty. Jadi artikel yang dituju untuk jurnal Terindex Scopus itu memang kalau gambaran novelty-nya jelas itu adalah bahkan katakan sebagai sebuah keharusan. Jadi novelty itu bisa sebagai kategori yang baru atau mungkin subjek dari risetnya atau mungkin sebagai ini kekayaan baru atau kepemilikan. Jadi new properties dari subjeknya. Itu bisa sehingga bisa masuk di dalam kategori yang pertama yaitu invention. Tetapi saya tidak terlalu menakut-nakuti tetapi ingin menyampaikan secara jujur untuk menghasilkan kebaruan yang benar-benar baru bukan pekerjaan yang mudah. Kenapa? Dunia itu sudah hampir penuh oleh teori. Mau muncul teori satu aja apa? Seperti nggak punya tempat. Lah makanya apa? Loh ini tulisan yang ketiga malah salah ya. Itu harusnya N-nya R. Jadi artinya penolakan. Jadi refutation. Jadi nanti dicek supaya ya karena ini mungkin tadi ke susu harusnya R malah nggak tahu kok iso N pada R sama N itu posisinya atas bawah. Kemudian yang paling sering novelty untuk di disertasi itu yang terkait dengan yang kedua yaitu improvement. Karena improvement adalah modifikasi dari sebuah teori. Katakan saja Bapak Ibu meneliti dengan teori lingkungan atau ecological theory ya. Kan ada 5 dimensi, ada mikrosistem, ada mesosistem, ada exosistem, ada makrosistem dan yang terakhir kronosistem. Nah, kronosistem itu di dalam teorinya disebutkan itu harus menunggu. Jadi kalau yang lainnya bicara tentang output, kalau kronos bicara tentang outcome atau impact, sehingga ini harus menunggu. Oleh karena itu mungkin dalam penelitian Bapak Ibu bisa salah satu dimensi itu dikeluarkan. Sehingga dalam konteks tertentu Bapak Ibu harus mempertahankan bahwa bagian atau dimensi tentang kronos tidak perlu dimasukkan. Ya seperti kalau Bapak Ibu menggunakan teorinya Maslow, teori kebutuhan, kan semua orang taunya ada 5. Tapi bisa saja salah satu bagiannya adalah apa? Dilompati. Kalau orang kebutuhan yang lebih tinggi sebenarnya Pak sudah terpenuhi, misalnya rasa nyaman. Rasa nyaman sudah terpenuhi, kira-kira yang fisik sudah ditemui apa belum itu. Logikanya kan sudah yang fisiknya dulu itu. Misalnya, lah ini kan bisa dihilangkan. Kalau Bapak Ibu misalnya menggunakan teori pelayanan, kan di sana ada tangible, ada reliability, ada responsiveness, ada assurance, ada empati. Itu juga 5 dimensi yang harus, apakah semuanya harus dikaji di dalam pelayanan yang kita lakukan, mungkin kita bisa menghilangkan dengan berbagai pertimbangan. Misalnya, kalau responsiveness-nya tidak dimasukkan, kira-kira pengaruhnya besar atau tidak. Karena kecepatan respon itu kecepatan. Saya merasa itu sudah cepat, tapi ada orang lain kok lambat banget, sehingga itu kan sangat normatif. Wah, daripada ini mengacaukan, saya keluarkan saja, saya tidak ingin melihat. Karena sebenarnya di pelayanan itu yang paling mudah itu kalau persoalan tangible-nya kelihatan. Seperti kemarin ini teman-teman dari Dikdas saya bimbing itu susah banget. Penelitian di SD, anak SD kelas 5, kemudian pakai buku yang terkait dengan lingkungan. Teorinya apa? Konstruktivisme. Apa Anda menginginkan anak kelas 5 SD mampu merekonstruksi? Ternyata dia melepek-melepek juga pikirannya. Kenapa enggak pakai teori lingkungan aja? Sehingga saudara akan bicara di mikro, bicara bagaimana hubungan antara orang tua, sekolah, dan masyarakat. Itu hubungan intensitas secara kuantitas. Nanti di mesonya bicara tentang substansi, kualitasnya. Nanti di eksonya bicara tentang pengaruh tidak langsung dari konteks hubungan itu. Kadang-kadang kan masyarakat tidak selalu langsung mempengaruhi, tetapi ternyata berpengaruh secara tidak langsung. Ya seperti kalau kita mendengar dampak-dampak para analisis dengan penguasaan Venezuela oleh Amerika, dampaknya kemana ya, ada yang kayaknya masih optimis, ada yang masih sangat pesimis, khawatir, karena ada yang mengomentari, wah salah satu kapalnya Pak Putin di Amerika Latin benar-benar oleng. Karena Venezuela dianggap sebagai kapal induknya Rusia yang ada di Amerika Latin. Apakah Indonesia juga enggak ketir? Ya ketar-ketir karena dananya Pertamina di Venezuela juga cukup besar. Bisa hilang atau tidak, misalnya. Nah ini kan satu analisis, cuma saya bukan orang ekonomi jadi cuma mendengarkan aja. Jadi apa yang kira-kira terjadi. Kemudian reputation, dibetulkan oleh Mas Mel di N-nya itu. Jadi artinya penolakan. Kalau Bapak Ibu bisa menghasilkan penelitian yang bertentangan dengan teori yang ada, namanya kebaruan tetapi dalam kategori yang ketiga, yaitu refutation. Ini juga pekerjaan yang sulit. Meskipun kemarin Pak Iwan ketika saya membimbing, dia menggunakan social acting theory, tetapi karena social acting theory memang diciptakan oleh orang Barat, ketika diterapkan di Indonesia, tidak matching. Jadi istilahnya apa yang terjadi menjadi asimetris. Akhirnya saya memasukkan variabel moderasi yang disebut dengan budaya organisasi. Sehingga dengan adanya intervensi budaya bisa melahirkan satu pola yang simetris. Ya jadi jalan keluar di dalam berusaha itu. Sehingga ketika menulis artikel argumennya menjadi lebih kuat. Nah, jadi ini salah satu contoh-contoh untuk betapa pentingnya novelty menjadi sesuatu yang bisa menjadi bahan branding. Jadi keunggulannya di mana. Oke, itu yang kita. Kemudian metode yang lengkap. Ini saya memberikan contohnya hanya ngutip sehingga nanti kalau sudah dibaca PPT mungkin bisa dibaca lebih. Ini kalau ini dari jarak jauh pasti terlalu kecil. Tapi saya hanya ingin mengatakan bahwa metode yang lengkap dan detail menjadi salah satu tolak ukur di dalam menentukan kualitas penelitian. Sehingga dalam konteks tertentu artikel yang Bapak Ibu masukkan itu lebih besar kemungkinan untuk bisa diterima. Jadi ini memang membutuhkan satu detail tentang metodenya. Jadi metode menjadi bagian. Oleh karena itu tadi yang di atas masalah kajian, literatur kajian teori tidak selalu eksplisit dalam sub tersendiri, tapi metode itu di model apapun akan masuk. Karena ini akan menjadi dasar sebenarnya datanya seperti apa. Karena itu yang menjadi dasar untuk diskusi atau di dalam pembahasan. Kemudian yang berikutnya yang juga cukup penting ini terkait dengan tampilan. Kalau data-data kuantitatif yang seperti ini ditampilkan juga akan memberikan satu keyakinan kepada para reviewer. Jadi kadang-kadang memang susah. Saya juga pernah kayak gini tuh kadang-kadang pakai akal-akalan loh Bu Dia. Saya pada waktu masuk ke Q2 bareng sama Prof. Masruhi. Prof. Masruhi memilih siapa reviewer dari Indonesia yang dipilih Prof. Triwati dari Sosan. Kalau saya ya enggak usah Prof. siapa-siapa. Yang tak perkosa Prof. Arif. Iya Prof. Arif satu ruangan. Terus Prof. Ari kan memberi masukan. Ya saya langsung direvisi toh. Kamu catatan revisinya. Nah, jadi nanti Bu Barokah kalau mau kayak gitu. Jadi jangan selalu tunggal seolah-olah menjadi pahlawan yang sempurna. Jadi begini, saya dengan Prof. Edi. Lah carane kue kursi jitok meh nganu untuk proposal, untuk profesor cuma 1. Ya kan terlalu kering ya. Caranya gimana? Nulis artikel, sing nulis kue atas namanya sopo, terus kon dimasukkan, nanti reviewernya sopo, yuk. Jadi agak akal-akalan sedikit. Makanya saya begitu dulu ngajukan profesor, begitu. Jurnalnya sama dengan Pak Rudi Hartono, Pak Kapit, terus Bu Erni. Yang lainnya lolos tempat saya dianggap dis. Ya nasib bukan rezekinya. Saya ditanya sama Prof. Asi, Dek, katanya Pak Santo, nggone Dewi ora lolos. Ya belum rezekinya ngopo dipikiri. Daripada kayak Pak Yuri kan kayak mau stres. Pak nggak usah dipikiri malah. Biar zaman urung ujian kayak mes sakit, pas pengusulan profesor ya kayak gitu, kayak stres lagi. Kalau saya santai, terus Bu Asih tanya, terus enggak piye Dek? Enggak apa-apa, saya sudah punya 4 lagi nanti tak kirim. Jadi langsung dikirim. Langsung dikirim 4, itu malah catatan terakhir. Angka kredit butuh 100 masih dikatakan kurang 5. Nah kalau ini saya harus maju. Saya langsung ke Jakarta ketemu Pak Direktur. Pak, saya punya Sinta satunya itu 3. Tulisannya individu semua. Maksimal nilainya 25. Kalau maksimal aja jadi 7. Saya enggak minta maksimal, rata-rata 10, berarti 30. Yang di Scopus saya ada 5. Rata-rata enggak usah 24, tapi saya 10, berarti 50 sama 30, sudah 80, yang 20 saya pikir, Mas sudah nanti tak bypass. Begitu saya bypass, jujur aja, saya langsung ngebel teman saya yang ada di Ijen. Mas Agus, tolong saya kawal. Yang kemarin pada waktu Pak Agus Yono itu loh, ada laporan belum, itu kan yang kesini Agus. Padahal sudah dibuat santai. Terus, siap bos, jadi enggak bos, siap bro, kawal sama Mas Iwan di kepegawaian. Begitu, bukan Iwan kepegawaiannya di teknik loh, Iwan kepegawaian di dikti. Jadi terus dikawal terus hanya saya kabari, bro aman bro. Nah, sudah alhamdulillah, pokoknya setelah itu saya ngecek, terus sertifikat kompetensinya keluar. Kalau sertifikat kompetensi sudah keluar kan tinggal penandatangan SK di Pak Menteri. Nah itu jadi ya sepaneng dibuat santai-santai. Makanya ketika istri saya mengajukan katanya enggak boleh, sudahlah enggak usah. Ada rezeki enggak usah dikejar-kejar. Nah, tapi kan yang melarang itu akhirnya keweleh setelah Bu Anwar Haryono baru 1,5 tahun bisa guru besar. Nah itu jadi kita itu jangan suka menjegal teman sendiri yang paling deket itu. Biar kalau kayak gini diloloskan, biar yang di atas saja yang menentukan. Itu akan lebih aman daripada saya menentukan di sini kalau ia paling mengerti, tahu-tahu apa? Disengit sama Bu Barokah. Ya. Loh dulu itu saya sampai heran loh. Ketika Prof. Isti mengajukan. Loh kok enggak ada istilah manajemennya? Ya ampun Bu, kalau enggak ngerti istilah manajemen ya enggak usah bicara lah. Karena pakai perencanaan. Perencanaan itu konsep manajemen. Jadi dia bidangnya perencanaan pembelajaran matematik. Loh katanya Pak, enggak ada konsep manajemennya. Jadi saya kan, ini orang ngerti apa enggak itu dok loh. Jadi Mbak kalau enggak ngerti ya enggak usah kemudian kayak menghalang-halangi itu sebagai. Ya ini tampilan tentang olah data memang diperlukan, bahkan kalau di dalam penelitian kuantitatif kadang-kadang yang seperti ini sangat dipentingkan. Yang berikutnya Mas Meldi, jadi ini di dalam diskusi ini memang sangat tergantung kepada wawasan dan pengetahuan para peneliti itu sendiri. Tetapi elaborasi dalam diskusi itu menjadi penting. Artinya apa? Mengaitkan. Seperti kalau di dalam penyusunan disertasi di pembahasan, kan saya tidak sekedar saudara membahas tentang ini, tetapi menjawab pertanyaan mengapa. Kalau pertanyaan mengapa, saya selalu lari kepada apakah hasil penelitian saudara sesuai dengan teori yang saudara gunakan atau tidak. Kalau sesuai maupun tidak sesuai harus dijelaskan, dijustifikasi dengan 2 konsep utama. 1, data empiris. Jadi misalnya X berpengaruh terhadap Y. Secara deskriptif, secara empiris, kenapa itu berpengaruh? Data-data kecilnya tolong disodorkan. Kondisinya seperti ini sehingga kalau X berpengaruh sangat rasional, sangat realistis. Kalau tidak berpengaruh, ya jelaskan kenapa tidak berpengaruh. Itu namanya justifikasi secara empiris. Kemudian didukung dengan hasil penelitian orang lain yang disebut dengan preview research-nya. Nah ini yang harus hati-hati, cari hasil penelitian orang lain yang relevan. Kalau hasil penelitian saya mengatakan X berpengaruh terhadap Y, ya cari hasil penelitian yang mengatakan. Jangan yang tidak mengatakan dimasuk-masukkan, dipaksa. Meskipun di dalam kajian pustaka mungkin agak beragam. Beragam itu kan untuk mengantisipasi nanti hasil penelitian saya seperti apa. Nah itu nanti akan ketemu. Jadi justifikasi menjadi kuat sehingga simpulannya akan ketemu. Nah pertanyaan kedua yang harus dijawab dalam pembahasan adalah what next? Dengan temuan seperti ini apa yang bisa kita lakukan? Nah itu kita memang agak sedikit kreatif merancang tentang beberapa opsi yang bisa kita lakukan. Nah ini yang menjadi sangat penting. Oleh karena itu rekomendasi yang dirumuskan di bagian akhir dari penulisan disertasi bukan muncul secara tiba-tiba, tetapi dari hasil pembahasan. Saya kadang-kadang tanya, bla 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 bla, ini hasil atau simpulan? Hasil, Pak. Lah kan judulnya simpulan, kenapa ditulis hasil? Kemudian begitu saran atau rekomendasi, bla 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 bla. Kalau sarannya semacam ini, kalau tanpa penelitian bisa enggak menyusun? Bisa. Lah berarti kan saran yang saudara rumuskan tidak bertitik tolak dari hasil penelitian. Jadi kadang-kadang untuk ngeceknya, jadi nyalahkan orang itu memang gampang banget, tapi suruh menyusunnya itu ya pusing. Tapi kan saya punya tugas untuk melatih dan berpikir konstruktifnya. Jadi menyusun rekomendasi itu bukan dengan bahasa normatif. Kalau bahasanya normatif itu kan Bu Barokah mungkin masih ingat ketika saya PPL di SMA 3. Pak Yono itu dosen bahasa Prancis. Kan mahasiswinya rata-rata perempuan. Begitu sudah tampil mengajar, semangat banget. Jadi saya kan karena satu kelompok di sama-sama PPL. Teman saya itu bertanya semangat banget. Pak, terus tolong saya dikoreksi kekurangan-kekurangannya. Pak Yono itu memang orangnya senang guyon. Jadi jawabnya, sudah bagus, cuma kurangnya sedikit. Hari ngomong sedikit itu dikit. Terus kan mahasiswanya semangat banget. Apa itu Pak? Besok kalau mau tampil di depan kelas, tolong bibirnya jangan terlalu pucat. Jadi tidak ke materi malah ke bibirnya. Jadi mahasiswa itu agak kesipu itu loh. Jadi memang Pak Yono itu orangnya memang agak apalah. Jadi kalau bicara ini agak terlalu bebas. Jadi mahasiswanya kan agak kesipu. Jadi serius bicara tentang bagaimana dia pada waktu melaksanakan tugas mengajar, diawasi oleh guru pamong dan dosen pembimbing, begitu ditanya kekurangannya apa malah cuma satu dikit. Ternyata Pak, besok bibirnya dikasih merah-merah sedikit supaya tidak pucat itu. Ya memang kadang-kadang benar juga sebenarnya, tapi apa ya, tidak terduga lah macam itu. Jadi mengelaborasi ini menjadi bagian penting supaya terjadi serawung keilmuan. Jadi apa yang kita pikirkan paling tidak ada relevansi, ada kesepahaman dengan peneliti-peneliti yang lain di dalam ini. Seperti saya pada waktu membuat pidato pengukuhan Pak Arif itu, asem nulis pidato malah simpulannya yang pertama. Jadi pada waktu itu hanya sama-sama membuka artikel, ada tulisan it argues that universal principle cannot apply in organization because each organization is unique. Wah itu jadi simpulan saya. Kita tulis pertama bahwa diskusi secara mendalam tentang prinsip-prinsip universal dari manajemen itu ternyata tidak semua bisa diterapkan atau tidak semua organisasi bisa menerapkan karena masing-masing organisasi memiliki sifat yang unik itu. Sehingga pada waktu judul itu dianukan, Pak judulnya kenapa enggak langsung ini? Kalau judulnya kayak gitu simpulannya berapa? Ya 1, lah simpulan saya 2. Jadi Kadang-kadang diskusi yang semacam itu penting. Makanya saya pada waktu itu manajemen mutu sangat penting manakala dinamika kehidupan masyarakat sangat kuat terus-menerus sehingga sulit diprediksi. Oleh karena itu kinerja akademik harus dipandang sebagai adaptive task performance. Yang kedua, manajemen mutu tidak penting manakala dinamika masyarakat sangat statis. Bahkan cenderung tidak berubah, sehingga tidak ada tantangan baru, tidak ada perubahan, tuntutan baru, sehingga kinerja pendidikan, kinerja akademik bisa dipandang sebagai rutin task performance. Kan simpulannya ada dua. Lah itu yang Pak Ali Porman mesti ngirim WA tentang poin-poinnya itu loh. Jadi senang dalam, lah istri saya malah suruh baca malah ora moco gitu. Lah aku wis hafal karo PPT-nya, jadi apa poinnya saya jelaskan, apa poin itu di PPT saya jelaskan. Karena waktu 10 menit kan, ya Bu Diah ya sampai gelagapan ngatur apa yang ingin disampaikan banyak banget, tetapi waktunya terlalu pendek. Nah jadi ini di dalam diskusi juga Bapak Ibu perlu menekankan poin-poin utamanya dengan argumen yang rasional dan realistis. Rasional artinya sesuai dengan teori apa, kemudian dengan data yang dimiliki. Jadi ini bagi hal yang sangat penting, meskipun ada istilah mungkin interpretasi, ya memang betul. Jadi setiap orang memiliki interpretasi sendiri-sendiri seperti di dalam teori yang disebut dengan RVP yang kemarin Mbak Sony itu bicara. Tetapi kan ketika teori RVP itu belum lahir, pertama munculnya adalah market based view. Kemudian menjadi resource based view dan sekarang puncaknya menjadi knowledge based view. Jadi perkembangan teori itu memang harus dipahami juga. Oke, selanjutnya ini sudah mendekati terakhir, digital writing. Jadi penulisan artikel memakai perangkat digital seperti reference manager. Kemudian pemuatan AI, tadi sudah dijelaskan. Jadi ini sebagai tool bukan sebagai pengganti kalau menggunakan AI. Termasuk ChatGPT. Oleh karena itu saya sarankan begitu Bapak Ibu menggunakan itu silakan, tetapi jangan dibiarkan utuh. Karena bahayanya kalau ada apa sih istilahnya? Yang ke perpus itu untuk penyamaan itu. Ya turnitin itu loh. Jadi turnitin atau similaritas itu kan mesti akan kebentur. Oleh karena itu saya hanya menyarankan tolong dibuat parafrase dengan bahasa sendiri. Jadi dari sana dibicarakan apa tetapi bahasanya kemudian diubah supaya ketika diturnitin tidak merah. Itu memang salah satu kunci strategi ya, yang perlu diperhatikan. Oleh karena itu jangan suka mengutip kutipan langsung. Jadi kutipan langsung ya berbahaya, lebih baik kemudian diolah dengan bahasa sendiri, dipahami. Nanti kalau ditanya, biasanya lebih lancar untuk lahir daripada harus menghafal. Lebih baik kan saya bicara dengan bahasa sendiri. Jadi ini bukan, jadi tidak menggantikan penulisan, tetapi membantu. Nah ini satu hal di dalam digital writing. Dan yang berikutnya yang terkait dengan masalah pemilihan jurnal, tolong satu lebih kepada bicara tentang skop dari jurnal itu. Ini saya berikan contoh, ada dua misalnya, ada yang lebih spesifik, ini ada Applied Research in Higher Education, itu kan lebih, jadi bicara di pendidikan atas lah, jadi bukan pada ini. Kemudian ada yang bicara tentang teknologi pendidikan. Jadi ini contoh-contoh jurnalnya. Jadi lebih spesifik, lebih ini. Nah mungkin kalau misalnya aja teman-teman dari Dikdas, kemudian karena bicara lebih banyak ke teknologi, karena Dikdas pendidikan dasar itu kan prodi yang berorientasi pada teknologi pendidikan, berbeda dengan manajemen. Jadi kalau teknologi pendidikan orientasi pada dimensi pendidikan yang terdiri dari ranah kognitif, afektif, dan psikomotorik, maka manajemen itu orientasinya pada komponen pendidikan seperti SDM, mungkin masalah sarana prasarana, masalah anggaran, masalah biaya, masalah dan seterusnya. Jadi manajemen pendidikan itu lebih berorientasi pada bicara komponen sebagai bagian atau sebagai jalan menuju tercapainya dimensi pendidikan yang lebih efektif dan efisien. Kira-kira semacam itu. Jadi ini yang perlu diperhatikan. Yang berikutnya di dalam menentukan jurnal kita sudah cukup bisa memahami. Kemudian yang berikutnya Mas Meldi, yang terkait dengan perhatikan poin-poin penting. Nah ini juga perlu diperhatikan. Terkadang artikel kita itu ditolak hanya karena masalah sederhana, tidak sesuai dengan template. Jadi menulis itu memang tadi saya katakan, jadi ketika menuju ke jurnal IK, maka baca artikel dari jurnal IK itu satu atau dua, sehingga template-nya benar-benar dipahami. Kemudian yang kedua, memperhatikan peringkat jurnal. Jadi meskipun saya tidak selalu menganjurkan ke Q1, Q2 dan seterusnya, tetapi peringkat jurnal harus diperhatikan. Kemudian memilih jurnal yang sekiranya berpotensi untuk ditembus. Jadi kira-kira kalau ke Spengler itu jujur aja pasti bisa ditembus, tapi waktunya bisa sampai 2 tahun. Meskipun ketika saya di sana malah gratis sebenarnya, tetapi prosesnya lama. Lah kalau prosesnya lama untuk Bapak Ibu yang di S3 itu pasti butuh yang lebih cepat. Nah, oleh karena itu di dalam memilih hati-hati. Nah, salah satu bagian terpenting yang harus diperhatikan adalah story. Story itu maksudnya begini. Jurnal ini tahun lalu menerbitkan berapa artikel. Ketika kadang-kadang 16 masih agak rasional. Tetapi di tahun 16 sekali terbit, tapi di tahun berikutnya berubah. Dari 16 menjadi 60 berapa, tahun berikutnya 300 berapa. Ini ngalamat akan jurnal ini, usianya akan kiamat. Itu tolong diperhatikan. Karena memang saya juga sering menuduh jurnal-jurnal kayak gini memang untuk menyedot uang orang lain. Jadi kadang-kadang sok menuduh agak kasar, meskipun mungkin yang dituduh mengatakan tidak, tetapi jujur aja kadang-kadang untuk mencari tambahan pendapatan. Kemudian yang ketiga ini hindari jurnal-jurnal predator. Kemarin ada mahasiswa S3 di MP, Mbak Siti Atiko dari Kudus ya kayak gitu. Ternyata dia masuk ke jurnal cloning, jadi habis terbit langsung dilacak sudah tidak ada. Karena dia hanya mengharapkan bayaran, setelah bayar diterbitkan. Tapi terbitkan kan menggunakan istilah wajahnya orang lain. Nah ketika wajahnya orang lain yang dipinjam itu dalam waktu mungkin paling lama 7 hari masih bisa, tetapi di berikutnya sudah tidak bisa dilacak. Itu juga tolong hati-hati. Nah, dulu kita sering mendengar istilah jadi IPB. IPB itu India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. Jadi dulu, tetapi sekarang malah India dengan posisi yang dulu tergolong jelek, sekarang posisinya terus membaik. Mungkin termasuk Pak Raqib tadi yang bicara kan sebenarnya aslinya dari India tetapi dia lebih banyak di ini. Nah, mungkin budaya di Australia bisa mengubah pola pikirnya. Nah, termasuk besok ada mata kuliah baru yang disebut dengan grow mindset itu loh. Ya, jadi ini satu hal yang ini. Jadi menarik, saya sama Prof. Wasino kan diminta untuk menjadi koordinator mata kuliah itu hanya gara-gara memang mengubah fixed mindset ke grow mindset itu bukan pekerjaan mudah. Bahkan konon di dalam visa itu anak-anak Indonesia kalau ditanya, apakah kecerdasan bisa diubah? Jawabnya tidak. Jadi gawan lahir. Nah, padahal jawabnya harus sangat-sangat bisa diubah melalui grow mindset. Makanya saya berikan satu PPT saya yang ketika saya bicara di IMIPAS untuk mengubah mindset para penjaga lapas. Jadi kadang-kadang merasa bersyukur ada kementerian baru, saya sudah 3 kali diundang untuk bicara. Pertama bicara tentang lapas yang sehat, kemudian yang kedua tentang masalah yang terkait dengan ini, mengubah mindset. Nah, saya pada waktu mengubah mindset ya kadang-kadang bertanya sederhana, Anda pernah naik pesawat? Pernah. Kalau di bandara apa yang terjadi? Bahkan ikat pinggang arloji pun harus dilepas ya. Kalau di bandara masuk itu. Di lapas kan enggak. apalagi yang berkunjung mantan atasannya. Dia bebas keluar masuk, HP yang semula tidak boleh dibawa, dibawa. Bahkan yang terlarang pun bisa masuk gitu. Jadi ini konteks-konteks di dalam membangun mindset. Akhirnya kan kebetulan ada lapas yang kena, akhirnya atasannya tidak bertanggung jawab. Nah, ini yang perlu diperhatikan. Jadi ini beberapa poin penting, cloning, jumlah artikel yang diterbitkan itu kadang-kadang di luar dugaan, kemudian cepat ininya. Kemudian kolaborasi lintas negara ini memang menjadi penting, tapi ini mungkin bagi para mahasiswa belum sampai ke sana. Tapi untuk Bu Dia, saya itu memang sangat penting kolaborasi penulis lintas negara itu akan membuat publikasi akan lebih cepat, kemudian apalagi pada waktu penelitian juga studi lintas negara. Makanya Bu Dia ini lagi jadi komandan untuk melakukan penelitian yang kolaborasi dengan China. Ya kemarin-kemarin kan sudah dilakukan. Nah simpulannya persistensi ini. Jadi ada satu bahasa yang sangat bagus bahwa usaha yang terus-menerus mau dilakukan atau mencapai sesuatu termasuk ketika di hadapan kita rintangannya itu luar biasa. Nah itu yang kecil, tidak ada laut tenang yang bisa menghasilkan seorang pelaut yang terampil, yang ulung. Kira-kira semacam itu. Jadi kalau kita tidak mau bekerja keras, berusaha, ya mungkin apa yang kita harapkan tidak pernah akan tercapai. Penutupnya, silakan Mas Meldi. Nah, jadi ini tahap akhir mencakup pengecekan plagiarisme, ini tolong diperhatikan, kemudian kesesuaian format, proses submit menjadi awal proses publikasi, memastikan artikel sesuai dengan template. Saya kira itu yang bisa saya sampaikan, kurang lebihnya mohon maaf dan terima kasih atas semua perhatiannya. Bila taufiq wal hidayah, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Terima kasih Prof. Vito yang sudah menjelaskan panjang lebar. Saya jadi ikutan bahasa Indonesia aja ya, biar kawan. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu. Ini di layar ternyata sudah masih ada 195-an ya. Jadi gayeng ini ya. Mudah-mudahan apa yang sudah diinformasikan baik Pak Raqib maupun Prof. Vito ini dapat menambah wawasan kita. Sebelumnya ada pertanyaan Bapak Ibu? Di sini yang hadir sekitar 40, apakah semua S3 atau masih ada atau campuran? Kalau S3 siapa? Mohon tunjuk. Ya, lainnya S2 ya. Mudah-mudahan teman-teman yang S3 segera kalau sudah punya hasil penelitian segera menulis. Dari informasi yang pagi sampai siang hari ini yang diterima silahkan diaplikasikan ya. Nah ini bisa saya, kalau tidak ada di layar juga tidak ada ya, berarti sudah jelas semua ya. Jadi saya simpulkan ya, tadi sudah dibuat simpulan tapi saya simpulkan lagi. Jadi ke Bapak Ibu, jika membuat manuskrip yang akan dikirim ke jurnal internasional bereputasi, judul harus spesifik ya. Hindari kata lokal. Misalnya bla 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 di SMA Semarang, misalnya itu dicoret ya. Karena apa? Pangsa pembaca dari jurnal Scopus itu internasional ya. Kemudian judul menunjukkan keterbaruan dan ada kontribusinya. Disertasi tidak harus tebal ya. Ada kolaborasi penulis luar ya. Kebetulan saya mengelola jurnal yang terindeks Scopus, itu kalau tidak ada kolaborasi internasional saya minta untuk ditambah ya. Karena ada cerita begini, ada seorang yang ingin mengajukan guru besar, kemudian dicek di Jakarta ya, ternyata jurnal yang diterbitkan itu semua penulis orang Indonesia. Apa yang terjadi? Tidak diterima, disarankan untuk menulis kembali. Nah ini Bapak Ibu yang S3 tentunya sudah ada instansi ya, jadi nanti saran setelah Anda lulus, tulislah hasil-hasil penelitian yang terkait dengan skop pendidikan S3 panjenengan. Ya, jadi misalnya MP. Nah, untuk setelah lulus tentang manajemen. Ini memudahkan penilaian di Jakarta bahwa ini benar-benar expert di bidangnya. Jangan jadi kutu loncat. Manajemen habis itu nanti apa ya? Sejarah. Nah, itu pasti Prof. Swita ini dari sejarah ya. Jadi pasti nanti banyak kendalanya ya. Kebetulan ya saya hari cerita ya. Kebetulan saya linear S1, S2, S3 linear, penelitian saya juga linear. Alhamdulillah diajukan di Jakarta hanya 2 bulan langsung ACC ya. Jadi ini pelajaran buat Bapak Ibu, baik yang hadir di sini maupun yang ada di daring ya, yang S3 terutama. Setelah Anda lulus S3 harus penelitiannya sesuai dengan linear S3-nya ya. Oke. Kemudian oh ya, referensi berasal dari jurnal bereputasi ya. Jadi referensi yang ada di naskah kita itu harus sebagian besar. Kalau saya minta semuanya ya. Ini juga ada cerita juga. Jadi ada teman editor mengajukan jurnalnya untuk terindeks Scopus, ternyata dicek sampai referensinya Bapak Ibu. Ternyata sebagian naskahnya itu banyak referensi bahasa Indonesia. Akhirnya ditolak. Nah, itu sehingga saya kalau ada naskah masuk, saya lihat juga referensinya sebagian besar bahasa Indonesia apa bahasa Inggris. Setelah itu tahunnya, ya tahunnya jadul apa enggak. Nah tadi sudah dijelaskan Prof. Vito, tahunnya sebaiknya 5-10 tahun terakhir. Tapi ada jurnal-jurnal misalnya di bidang IT, nah itu lebih ini lagi ya 3 tahun itu, 5 tahun itu udah jadul. Jadi tergantung skop jurnalnya. Baik. Oh ya, jangan lupa mensitasi jurnal yang dituju ya. Ini juga saya sering cek. Kalau nggak ada, saya suruh. Nah, ya, ini apa, rahasia editor. Kemudian susunan IMRAT, biasanya IMRAT, Introduction, Method, Result and Discussion. Ya. Kalau bagusnya begini ya Pak Ibu. Kalau panjenengan punya manuskrip itu naskah yang belum diterbitkan. Ini mau saya kemana ya? Jadi cari jurnalnya dulu. Cari jurnalnya, skopnya masuk ya. Kemudian lihat pedomannya, unduh beberapa naskah yang sudah terbit. 3 atau 5 diunduh. Nah, itu dipelajari gaya selingkungnya, bagaimana cara menulis judulnya, ya abstraknya, ya pendahuluannya dan seterusnya. Pelajari, kemudian naskah panjenengan disesuaikan. Jangan panjenengan minta editor menyesuaikan panjenengan, naskahnya itu salah, ya. Itu pasti di-reject gitu, ya. Kemudian ada benang merah antara satu paragraf dengan paragraf yang lain. Ya, ini tentunya di pembahasan. Oke, sebentar. Nah, juga ada novelty, ya. Kemukakan novelty-nya apa? Novelty itu tidak harus 100% baru, tapi dari referensi-referensi yang sudah ada, ya, kurangnya apa? Ya, itu sebagai novelty. Kemudian tampilan juga harus bagus, artinya rapi, ya, rapi. Kemudian kalau perlu ada gambar, ya, jangan delojor tulisan dari atas sampai bawah, ya. Kemudian rekomendasi, oke, ada rekomendasi. Selain itu hindari AI. Oh ya, kemarin saya menerima 40 naskah yang masuk di jurnal saya. Saya cek, saya kan menargetkan AI 20%. Makanya tadi saya tanya, berapa sebenarnya AI yang diperbolehkan? 20% ya. Tapi apa yang terjadi? Kalau 40 naskah yang masuk itu saya hanya mengambil 20% AI-nya, hanya 1 yang masuk. Saya tambahin lagi 30%, hanya 3. Yang lain ternyata 40, 50, 60, 80 dan 2 naskah yang 100%. Aduh, sedih itu ya. Jadi itu tadi penting sekali tadi informasi dari Pak Raqib ya, ternyata dengan AI itu tidak membuat pembahasan kritis ya, ya seperti kita kehilangan seperti itu ya. Kemudian juga Turnitin, tadi sudah dijelaskan Prof. Prof. Wito ya, Turnitin ini perlu parafrase ya. Template pedoman ya sudah tadi ya, unduh artikel, gaya selingkungnya, peringkat jurnal ya. Jadi peringkat jurnal itu di Indonesia ada 1 sampai 6 Sinta. Sebenarnya 7 ya. Di Sinta itu 1 sampai 6 dan yang 1 jurnal yang belum terakreditasi ya. Nah, harapannya Anda ini yang S2, S3 cari peringkat yang tertinggi. Mengapa? Kalau peringkat yang tertinggi itu reviewnya ya, tapi tidak semua ya. Reviewnya itu apa ya istilahnya? Ketat dibanding jurnal yang tidak terakreditasi ya. Reviewnya agak ketat. Nah, harapannya kualitasnya juga baik ya. Nah, saudara kan sudah tingkatnya ma'rifat ya, S3 itu. Nah, sehingga harapannya ilmu yang saudara bagikan melalui manuskrip itu bermanfaat ya. Bukan malah menipu, bukan malah membuat teori-teori yang salah ya, harapannya seperti itu. Jadi ini moral ya. Kemudian hindari predator ya, tadi sudah dijelaskan bagaimana cara mengecek jurnal predator, lihat story-nya ya, tiba-tiba ratusan, tiba-tiba ya itu tuh benar alamat sebentar lagi tutup ya, seperti itu Bapak Ibu ya. Oke, saya kira itu mudah-mudahan bermanfaat. Kira-kira ada tambahan wawasan nggak ini? Alhamdulillah ya, kalau banyak alhamdulillah, dan jangan lupa diaplikasikan ya, segera menulis ya. UNES itu sudah kaya, jadi Bapak Ibu jangan tiap semester menyumbang UKT ya. Lebih baik segera ya, segera lulus, masih banyak yang menanti di institusi kita ya, nggak usah lama-lama di sini, bosen lihat Pak Wito. Bosen. Begitu ya Bapak Ibu ya. Terima kasih semuanya. Saya tutup. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Baik, terima kasih kami haturkan kepada Prof. Wito dan Prof. Dia untuk sesi kedua ini. Terima kasih Prof. Wito atas informasi serta wawasannya telah diberikan. Dan terima kasih kepada Prof. Dia kami haturkan yang telah memandu jalannya sesi kedua pada seminar hari ini. Baik Bapak Ibu, kita sudah mendekati akhir acara pada seminar hari ini. Dan sebelum seminar ini saya tutup, kami ucapkan terima kasih kepada Bapak dan Ibu semua yang telah hadir dalam kegiatan seminar hari ini, serta Bapak Ibu.
Pak Raqib kan ada lagi jam 1 nanti. Pak Raqib ada lagi.
Di sini, di smart class Prof kayaknya.
Oh, di smart class ya.
Tidak di sini sepertinya.
Di sini.
Nggih. Untuk yang sesi seminar kita sudah closing untuk hari ini. Nggih, mekaten. Baik. Boleh Prof, nanti yang pukul 1 bisa ikut secara daring dengan link yang sama. Nanti untuk Pak Raqibnya pindah ke smart class, dan untuk Bapak Ibu S3, mahasiswa S3 yang bimbingan dengan Pak Dr. Raqib diagendakan pukul 14 nanti bimbingan dengan beliau di ruang smart class. Mungkin nanti sebelumnya yang pukul 1 itu nanti ada paparan sedikit dari beliau, mungkin teman-teman juga boleh untuk bergabung di sana. Makaten Prof. Nggih, di ruang smart class sudah pada tahu ruang smart class di mana? Di gedung D. Nggih, nanti dari sini itu yang baru. Untuk teman-teman yang bergabung secara virtual atau Bapak Ibu yang bergabung secara virtual, nanti juga dapat bergabung di acara tersebut dengan link yang sama dengan link yang dipakai saat ini. Begitu nggih. Nggih. Baik, untuk seminar hari ini kita cukupkan. Terima kasih atas kehadiran Bapak dan Ibu serta para narasumber serta moderator panitia yang telah membantu jalannya kegiatan pada hari ini. Baik, dan kami ingatkan sekali lagi untuk Bapak Ibu untuk presensi jangan lupa karena akan kita bagikan e-sertifikat secara gratis untuk acara hari ini, mengatakan. Baik, dan untuk kegiatan pada hari ini semoga bermanfaat bagi Bapak Ibu semuanya dan menambah wawasan serta informasi mengenai academic writing, AI, ataupun publikasi di jurnal internasional. Dan semoga dapat membantu Bapak dan Ibu dalam penyusunan tugas akhir Bapak Ibu semuanya. Baik, untuk hari ini kita cukupkan. Akhir kata, billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.